Yeah, check the rhythm, feel the vibe, beats dropping hard, making heads collide, bass thumping loud, shaking up the street. Every step I take, moving to the beat, lightning fast, I'm breaking it down, feeling the pulse in every sound, never miss a step, always on the move. The beat's my partner, we groove as 1, 2. I close my eyes and let the music flow in this crazy world. It's the only thing I know.
Welcome to Lincoln Hansen Field. It's the Alberta Bowl, and we got the 9-a-side matchup right around the corner. The Peace River Pioneers taking on the Ponoka Bronx. Hello, everyone. Welcome down into the broadcast booth here. Connor Toffin joined by Corey Colwell. Corey, we just seen a great 6-a-side matchup. Now we got the 9-a-sides coming up, so let's do the same thing we did for the 6-a-side. It's a bit of a different game here. We might have some people tuning in and watching a 9-a-side game for the first time. Just kind of explain to me what some of the differences they might see in this game is.
Well, this is the true kind of in between the 6-a-side and 12-a-side version of football. It gets a little closer to people that have watched 12-a-side, a little closer to what you would normally see. There are 3 ineligible receivers now, so the numbers, the offensive line numbers are there like normal with 12-a-side. The field's a little bit wider than 6-a-side, a little bit narrower than 12-a-side. It's 50 yards wide, 15-yard end zones. So it's closer to the game you recognize and know, but it's also a little bit more open, a little bit faster.
So let's go and look at these two teams' roads here to Grand Prairie. A little bit different. Peace River getting the first round bye and then defeating Valley View in the semifinal last Saturday by a score of 28-15. Ponoka had to win a couple games. They beat Whitecourt by 40. 44-4 was the final score there. And then over Wainwright, 41-26 to take them here to Grand Prairie. So this 9-a-side, you and I were talking quite a bit before the game, and these are some programs that might struggle a little bit sometimes to keep the programs going, and just taking away those 3 players on each side provides such a big benefit to these schools to keep their programs going. Just kind of talk to me about what the 9-a-side does for football in Alberta. It is the first 9-a-side provincial championship today.
It is, and it's a fantastic thing that ASAA has put the 9-a-side game into provincials. This allows programs that are having a year they're down players to move down from 12-a-side, play 9-a-side, and keep their programs going. In fact, the 6-a-side and 9-a-side leagues have actually worked in coordination to allow teams to move up and down from 6-a-side to 9-a-side each year, depending on their numbers. And it allows schools to keep programs going, keep kids playing, because team sports are the one place left in the world that kids can learn resiliency. Right. You fail on a play, you got to get back up, line up again, and try it again. It's the one great place kids can learn that, and the value of team sports you can't put a number on it. It's the kids need to feel that.
It is absolutely freezing down on the field today. We are going to throw it to our in-house announcer and get these two teams introed before we kick off the 9-a-side provincial championships.
And they're both vying for supremacy on the 9A side level here in Alberta. And now to introduce the players for the visiting team, the Ponoka Bronx. Number 1, Weston Potts. Number 2, Josiah McCarthy-Roan. Number 3, Hayden Rain. Number 4, Truce Cardinal Beaverbones. Number 5, Dominic Desjardins. Number 7, Chase Eltzer. Number 8, Carson Frank. Number 9, Caden Jeffrey. Number 10, Reed Pinkston. Number 27, Ezra Louie. Number 30, Noah Bendera. Number 38, Talon Graham. Number 50, Kyson Sampson. Number 57, Jake Martell. Number 60, Neil Montour. Number 62, Chase McKelvey. Number 69, Destin Pipestream. Number 87, David Saddleback. Number 99, Hudson Schmuzik Bruns. And their coach, Cody Baird, and the rest of his staff. And now, introducing the players from the home team, the Peace River Pioneers. Number 1, Jacob Nusek. Number 2, Rowan Shannon. Number 3, Austin Toner. Number 4, Tobin Thomas. Number 7, Dio Macpakpak. Number 9, Tate Cousins. Number 10, Noah Ruther. Number 11, Justin Neufeld. Number 13, Kalen Rebelkin. Number 14, Nevin Betterson. Number 15, Evan Bozarth. Number 16, Alexander Kenny. Number 17, Noah Foreman. Number 27, Cody Robinson. Number 30, Colby Davis. Number 33, Cooper Jebb. Number 44, Coda Owens. Number 50, Kamal Diogates. Number 54, Dylan Smith. Number 55, Peter Clausen. Number 62, Berkeley Ferguson. Number 74, Rockwell Plant. Number 75, Kayan Owens. Number 77, Tarek Lauren. And number 88, Kyle Nyland Grodon. And the head coach, Mark Owens and his staff. Now, if you could please turn your attention to center field, where we will call the captains forward for the official coin toss.
The officials for today's game are from the Edmonton and Mighty Peace Officials Association. They are referee Nick Whalen, umpire Jeff Power, line judge Dan Aloisio, down judge Rorik Frapp, and back umpire Nick Walker.
We will have a coin toss to start the game. Pioneers, since you are the home team, it'll be your choice. We'll have one captain stand forward from each team. Alberta Bowl will be heads. The logo will be tails. Pioneers, what is your call? The call is heads. The coin is tails. You have won, Ponoka, you have won the coin toss. You have a choice to receive, you would like to receive. It'll be your choice in the second half. Which end would you like to kick from? Okay. Ponoka will be receiving. Any questions, concerns before we get started? Let's go!
At this time, we respectfully acknowledge the Beaver, Cree, Dene, and Métis people as the original caretakers of these lands and surrounding areas. We are grateful to live, learn, work, and play on Treaty 8 territory within Turtle Island, and acknowledge these lands have been home to diverse and sovereign First Nations and Inuit nations since time immemorial. Hi, hi. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd ask you to please rise and remove your hats and helmets for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, as I mentioned, Corey, it is just absolutely freezing today at Lincoln Hansen Field. We were sitting around minus 15 earlier. It still says minus 15 on my phone. I don't think I believe it because I walked outside multiple times and it feels like minus 20, a little worse. Slight breeze, not really in any direction, so it shouldn't affect the kicking game too much. What would affect it a little more would be just the footing today. We've seen one game played. What was kind of some of the differences that the weather made in that one?
Well, you could see once in a while that some of the offensive players were having trouble just handling the ball and doing all the little things that they do naturally, those little catches, little pitch, little handoffs. When your hands are that cold, it just makes everything like that a little bit harder, and it costs some of the teams control the ball at different times.
And then, you know, coming into this game, 9-a-side, first one, like I mentioned earlier, first 9-a-side provincial Alberta game. So super excited to be calling it. So we were kind of watching warm-ups. You're a little more familiar with the 9-a-side game than I am, so kind of just I was watching, and the two teams ran some very different styles of warm-ups, and you mentioned that you liked some of what you've seen from the Peace River Pioneers.
Well, I like the fact that the Peace River team has a variety of packages on offense they were warming up. They've got a jumbo package, they've got a pass package, and they look very clean and very crisp at all of them. Like they've ran a lot of reps with all those different packages. They look like they could throw just about anything at Ponoka here.
It's the Peace River Pioneers, it's the Ponoka Bronx. We are underway at the first ever 9-a-side provincial championship game. That ball was on the ground for a moment, and the Bronx just kind of had to hop on and make sure they kept possession, and that will leave way for their offense to take over at the 43.
Again, that's an example of just those cold hands trying to pick up a frozen ball. It's tougher in this weather.
So we'll get our first look at the Bronx offense. It'll be Carson Frank in at quarterback, wearing the black pants, making sure he'll stay warm today. A quick handoff up the middle is going nowhere. Peace River wins play one.
Ponoka tried to spread that out a little bit. Three-man line and run the ball up the middle. Good defensive stop. For just a 2-yard gain, it looks like.
That was Peter Clausen in on the tackle. Now in the shotgun. Snap is on the ground, evading some pressure is Frank. Throwing it over the middle, it's defended as Tobin Thomas got a hand in there. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
And again, those cold fingers, quarterback had trouble catching that snap. He made a play out of it though, but did not make that easy.
So the Bronx will have to punt it away early here. They got a guy running on from the sideline a little late. They do have an onside player. Snap is low. Pioneers are bringing some pressure. The punt is off safe. Returned by the Pioneers straight up the middle. Absolutely drilled. That was Truce Cardinal Beaver Bones downfield. Absolutely leveling the returner.
He came to play. That's a good hit in this weather.
This is Austin Toner on the return. That will give the Pioneers the ball outside the 45. So you mentioned before the game, we're 9-a-side. You see just 3 linemen there blocking for Peace River. They got them all wide right now. Hand off and a run to the outside. Good pickup on first down for the Pioneers. And that ball might have came out. Bronx recover. It's in the hands of Caden Jeffrey, and the Bronx get it right back.
That was a good play by Ponoka to spread it out and then run the ball. But in this cold, ball prop free on contact.
So Frank will get another chance right from midfield. Quick pitch to the right side. Ball's on the ground again, and the Bronx are on top of it.
Both teams are having trouble holding on to that ball in this cold. Did a good job to make sure he got it back, though.
Wanted to pitch it out to Altizer on that one. So it'll go down as a short loss on the play for the Bronx. 2nd and 11. Frank looking to the left, now looking back to the right, throwing across the body into triple coverage. It's knocked down. Looked for a moment like it was in the hands of Kylan Rebalkin.
He had good 5-man protection. Rolls out. Just trying to throw a cross body into a lot of traffic, like you said. It might have been an easier throw there to right in front of him.
So the Bronx punting unit is going to have to come back out. They do maintain that onside player. It's Truce Cardinal Beaverbones. Quick punt to the right side, angled towards the sideline. That one will travel out of bounds just inside the Pioneers 40. So it'll be a difference of about 12 yards on the punt.
This punter's got a pretty good leg though. That could make a difference in this cold weather, just that extra yards on field position. If you can continually do that.
Apologies, I wasn't too good at math in high school. 16 yards on that one. Got a little more leg on it as well. If it was the regular sideline and not the 5-yard inbounds one, you would have seen this probably as a 30-yard punt. So a run to the outside. We'll kick off this drive for the Pioneers. It's Rowan Shannon, and he's met just beyond the line of scrimmage. Not a ton there for Shannon and the Pioneers offense.
So they try this power sweep again. Ponoka does a good job flowing to the ball and making a stop. Well done, Ponoka linebackers. Ball
at the Pioneer 41. Gain of just a couple. That one's met in the backfield as well. A stout Ponoka D-line getting the job done early. That one is Talon Graham.
Peace River pulled a guard, and the DN did a great job following that pull and meeting the ball. Great job. He read that pull and followed it.
By this time in our 6-a-side game, I think it was 16-14 already. Pioneers are going to have to punt this one away. Snaps a little low, punt high in the air. See if they blow this one down. Sometimes they do. No, it is fumbled, but out of bounds, and it looked like it kind of just came out of the hands of Potts there.
He is having trouble getting hold of a ball today. It's so cold on the fingers out there.
Looks like we had a flag on the play as well. We'll get the call. It truly is, as it looks like it's starting to snow a little bit as well.
Legal procedure, Peace River, penalties declined. It's first down, Ponoka.
It is cold enough out there that, like, when I was outside in the first game, I had a microphone in my hands, and it's almost hard to keep your hands clenched out there if you're outside for any period of time. So Frank will take the snap, quick handoff down the right side. It's a first down and a little more for Noah Bendera. Best offensive play of the game for either side.
That was a nice play. The receiver comes down and seals the edge, and around he goes. It was a nice block on the edge by number 7. Cardinal, no. Who's that?
Altizer picking up the block on that one. 2 backs in the game. Frank trying to run it to the outside. He's going to pick up maybe about a yard here. Pioneers defense responds.
Again, trouble holding that, taking that snap. In this cold weather, he's got to figure out what he's going to do there. Time to make plays.
Call it a 2nd and 10. Frank under center again. Another power formation. Ball's on the ground again. And this time, it's going to end up in the hands of the Pioneers. The Bronx are having a tough time keeping that football right now.
They've got to figure out how to keep their hands warm, how to focus on the ball, because this is not not a good start on offense for them.
So Peace River taking over at their own 47. Quick handoff on a sweep is to Kylan Rabalkin. Sheds off one tackle, but the pursuit is there from everyone else. Short pickup on first down. This has been a defensive battle to open up this game, Corey.
As much trouble as Ponoka's having on offense, their defense is playing well. Like 99 there, that play to make sure that running back had to bubble gives his linebackers time to get there and make the tackle. That's a good fight by 99 there. Well done.
Pickup of 2. It'll be a 2nd and 8. Different quarterback in the game right now, I believe, is Nusek. Runs it down the right side, finds some room, and I'm not sure that'll be enough for a first down. It is.
So that play, they pulled a guard. They had that big stack of receivers on the play side of the ball, and they just outmanned Ponoka on that side of the play side, the run side of the play.
We'll mention it can be a little deceptive. You do see those pylons about 5 yards inbounds from where the regular 12-a-side out-of-bounds line would be. That is the official field of play here at the 9-a-side level. A quick run to the left side is a pickup of about 8 for Shannon. Power running from the Pioneers offense.
That's the same play in the opposite direction. Peace River's found a play that's starting to work. Nice lead block by 77 there.
Push your back, boys. Let's go.
Gonna call it a 2nd and 2. Quick pitch. Shannon met in the backfield. There was 3 Broncs in there. First to it was Dominic Desjardins.
That's a good flow and push by the linebackers there. They read the play, they float across field, and then they come up and made the tackle.
So didn't see any kickers in warm-up, at least I didn't. It'd be well out of field goal range from here anyways, especially on a cold day, 50-yarder. I don't know if we're going to see that from any school this weekend. So probably too close as well to punt, you would think, but they are going to bring out the punting unit, and it is a fake. They're going to get Shannon some space down the right side. It looked like he was going to get stopped short, but that extra effort is going to get him across that first down yardstick, and the Pioneers move the chains.
And that's just an athlete making something out of nothing there. Ponoka cut him off on that sweep, and he came back and just fought for the yards he needed.
They'll move it to the Bronx 36. First sustained drive of the game, really, from either side here for the Pioneers.
Push your back, boys.
Nusek under center. Another handoff there, just continuously giving it to Shannon, and he's going to reward them with a run of 9, maybe 10. He is right next to the sticks, and he's got enough for a first down.
Nice lead block by 14, getting on the linebacker. Popping his partner out for a big run.
It's Nevin Bettinson in at fullback. Picking up some of the key blocks on this drive. Why not go anywhere else? Shannon cuts it to the middle, back out left. And another pickup of 5. They just keep staying ahead of the sticks. Player down here for the Bronx.
The Alberta Schools Athletic Association wishes to thank its many sponsors and suppliers who helped make this event a reality. Special shout out goes to
That
the
is
Government of Alberta.
Hudson Shumick Bruns down for the Bronx. Plays DN, plays guard, plays long snapper.
Hudl.
You know, as important as a defensive end and a guard is, your long snapper, you never want to lose them.
No, especially in this weather, the punting game is going to be a big part of this game. And so to lose your long snapper is a big deal.
You know, pretty much both of these teams, so we'll hope that Shumick Bruins is okay. Both of these teams are pretty much playing guys both ways, just as you would expect in a 9-a-side. These are some pretty small rosters here. I believe I counted the Bronx have 19 players on their roster only, so it's a short bench. You just can't afford many losses in a game like this.
You can't. Yeah, 19 players is less than both of the 6-side teams had for rosters in the game before. So they are these kids are doing everything.
It's been a good day of football so far. The Royals winning game 1, winning a provincial championship, and trainers coming out here for the Bronx. So we were watching warm-ups. I've been waiting for the right time to bring it up, and maybe it's now. I was reading through the pregame notes, and there was a little bit of talk in there from the Bronx about how there can be a bit of a struggle recruiting players, and we talked about it in the pregame show. That's why 9-a-side exists, so these kids can play football. They can learn those team sport dynamics they don't get anywhere else. But one thing that Coach Cody Baird acknowledged was it's also a struggle to recruit coaches. If you look at that Bronx sideline, he's the only guy there. So that doesn't just include coaches, that includes trainers as well. It is just him down there.
Yeah, he's wearing so many hats for this team. I mean, all his coordinators, head coaches, position coaches, and then he walked out as the first trainer to go out and see his player. I mean, he's got a lot of hats on. Commended, he's working hard for that program. It's well done, Cody. That's a lot of work.
So the officials now have motioned both teams to their sideline. And there's some obvious concern here for Hudson Shumick Bruins. Didn't get a look at what happened on that play.
Probably better to get the players back under the bench where
Yeah.
the heat is if they're going to stand here for a few minutes.
Right. Let's take a look. Kind of just caught up amongst a bunch of bodies there, of course. It is cold out as well, and everything is going to hurt just that little bit more. So looked like he might have just gotten tangled up there, so we'll hope that everything is all right for him. So 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Corey, is obviously trainer still paying attention to Hudson Shumick Bruins. We'll hope that he's okay. What have we seen so far from this 9-a-side game? What have you enjoyed about it? Kind of what do we expect to see the rest of the way?
Well, this game is definitely going to come down to field position. I mean, both teams are having a little trouble moving the ball right now in this cold weather. So your field position on your punts, your punt coverage is going to get really, really important. I mean, it may come down to a couple of scores to win this game, and so every yard you can find a way to move down to your opponent's side of the field is going to help.
All right, so trainers still out on the field tending to Hudson on the Bronx, and we are going to take a quick break. Score is still 0-0. All right, so we do have a quick update on the status of this game with 3:28 left to go in the first quarter. Hudson Shumick-Bruns went down with an injury. Trainers are still tending to him, and hopefully out of just an abundance of precaution. It was mentioned that it might be an upper body injury, possibly neck area, so we are currently just waiting for an ambulance. Just wanted to hop on, give everyone the update. This is going to take a little bit for this game to get back underway. As you can see now, the players are headed to their locker room, so stick right here. We will be back, and we will hope for the best for Shumick-Bruns. Welcome back to Lincoln Hansen Field. Unfortunate circumstance in this game. This happens in football sometimes, although we all wish it didn't. Hudson Schumich-Bruns went down on the last defensive play that we had. It was at 3:28 of the first quarter. That's still where we're at. He was taken out in an ambulance. There was concern about a neck injury. You might see it coming up here. There was a little bit of a sign of encouragement here from the paramedic. You can see there closest to the ambulance, and there it is just driving off moments ago. So we'll hope for the best for Hudson. Obviously something that no matter who you're rooting for, no matter your vested interest in a game like this, you obviously never want to see that at any level of football. But we've been told that Grand Prairie is going to take good care of them. So we will resume this game with no warm-up coming back in. The delay lasted probably just over about 30 minutes. Don't have an official time on it. It is Pioneers football, 2nd and 4 from the Ponoka Bronx. So big down here early, 0-0. It has been a defensive battle so far, and we are back underway. They're going to continue this drive, how it was before that break, by giving it to Rowan Shannon. He was taken down for a short gain. Connor Toffin and Corey Colwell back on the call.
Good little simple play to get things rolling again for Peace River. Just hand the ball off, get everybody going again, get everybody making contact again.
So we are to a 3rd down. 3rd and a long 2. Going to be a give to the big man, Noah Fake, and a pitch back outside to Shannon. And the Bronx rally to the football. Turnover on downs.
Peace River tried to run an option play here, and just the Ponoka's defense played it really, really well. Their outside guys stayed with the outside running back, and as soon as he got the ball, wrapped him up. It's a good defensive play.
Did notice as well, one last note on the injury. It was nice to see Dominic Desjardins and Noah Bendera as well as Talon Graham all came out of the locker room at one point to show support to their teammate. It's a small unit. These guys get pretty close. Bronx with the football. It was on the ground for a moment. Cardinal Beaver Jones has found some room on the outside, and he is gone. Touchdown, Bronx.
Again, it wasn't a pretty exchange between the quarterback and running back, but once he got the ball in his hands, he was gone. Lucky bounce to get it up.
Never broke stride.
He didn't. Peace River defense lost containment on the edge, and away that speedy running back went.
94 yards to the house. They will go for the single. Noah Bendera, running back and linebacker, also playing kicker for this squad. It is up and good. And remember, if you're watching that 6-a-side game, just 1 point on that extra point. Here's another look at the 94-yard score for Cardinal Beaver Bones.
He can run. Whew.
You know, sometimes in these games with shorter rosters, you can kind of get a look on special teams to see who the difference maker is going to be. And we've seen Beaver Bones make a big tackle earlier, flying down the field, and he showed off that speed once again, this time on offense.
Yeah, they must really be excited about his speed because he's also the guy they put onside on every punt as well.
Yeah. So now the Bronx will be kicking away back to the Pioneers. Got a look there. Noah Bendera kicking away a little bit of snow from that football, making sure he can get that clean swing of the leg through. So no better way to come back out of that timeout than a turnover on downs on defense. And one play, 94 yards to the house for Truce Cardinal Beaver Bones. Grade 10 player. Doesn't look like it though. Kick is off, and we are back underway. Kick nearing the sideline and will bounce out of bounds. That's going to draw a flag from the official.
You could hear that ball in that kick. It sounds like a frozen ball they're kicking.
Yeah. Yeah, you could hear just that thud, can't you?
There's no soft leather sound
Illegal
left.
kickoff out of bounds. It'll be first down from the 40-yard line.
So they'll move the ball up to the Pioneers' 40-yard line. So after a turnover on downs, it was the first longer drive of the game. Probably our first drive with multiple first downs in it. Bronx scored a touchdown, but it only took one play. Here's a throw over the middle. And it was into traffic, a bit too high for Justin Neufeld.
He had good protection. Had time to throw the ball. Just couldn't connect with his receiver.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the Pioneer 40. Just over 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Nusek scanning right. Down into one of the short concepts. It's a gain of 6, maybe 7. And that's going to bring up another interesting third down decision. Looks like the punt team is coming on the field.
I just tried to get the ball into an athlete's hand in open space, and the DB came up, made a good tackle.
Returner back for the Bronx is Weston Potts. End over end kick will check up around the 43. Apologies, that's Cardinal Beaverbones on the return. Maybe shouldn't be surprised there. It was Potts earlier. And there is a flag on the return that was brought just about to the Bronx 50. Was wondering with the long break there and no warm-up coming back into it, Corey, if we might have got a little bit of a slow start to what feels like the second half. It was almost like a long halftime break there.
It very much was, and yeah,
After the punt, we have a legal blindside block, unnecessary roughness, number 50. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down, Ponoka.
Yeah, it really did feel like a long halftime there.
Well, and it's weird because the players are now warmer because they've been inside for 30 minutes, but they've also been sitting still, so they're not really ready to come out and play. So it's a strange combination.
Cardinal Beaverbones came out ready to play. He had a 90-plus yard score on their last one. And Ponoka might be going again. This time, it was Noah Bandera, huge gainer for the Bronx.
And again, Ponoka's getting that edge block and getting their guy outside.
Weston Potts with a big block on that one. Allows Bandera to get the corner.
He sealed in that edge perfectly.
So Bronx starting to find some things that work. Here's a run up the middle. Physical play by that Pioneers D-line. Got a tough angle on some things. I think I seen a flag fly early in the play, now 2 later as well. And we got some laundry on the field for the referees to sort out.
We have objectionable conduct, number 44. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down, Ponoka.
So momentum starting to go in the Bronx favor here. Add another 10 yards to the end of that run. That's more than enough for first down. And now the Bronx are on the doorstep.
Yeah, in this weather, yards are precious. You shouldn't be giving up those penalties.
They'll leave Frank alone in the backfield, rolling out to the left, looking towards the end zone. Now tucks it and runs. Frank physically taken down to the ground. That's Nevin Bentonson. Just threw him.
That's a good decision by the quarterback, though. He's rolling out. All of his guys are pretty much covered. Tuck the ball and make some yards. It's a good decision.
Bring up a 2nd and 4. Should be last play of the first quarter, barring a flag. Big play here. Bronx up by 7, looking for more. Frank empty backfield. Scanning to the left again, steps up in the pocket, running over the middle. He is taken down. Looks like the helmet of Frank came off there as well, but he looks like he's getting up okay. That was Peter Clausen in on the tackle for loss.
It's great pressure by the D-line. Just about every one of them got through and got into the quarterback's face there.
So that will bring an end to the first quarter. Broncs are on the doorstep, up 7-0 in the 9-a-side provincial championship. Oh, we are going to break.
Yeah, check the rhythm, feel the vibe, beats dropping hard, making heads collide, bass thumping loud, shaking up the street. Every step I take, moving to the beat, lightning fast, I'm breaking it down, feeling the pulse in every sound, never miss a step, always on the move. The beat's my partner, we groove as 1, 2. I close my eyes and let the music flow in this crazy world. It's the only thing I know.
We are back at Lincoln Hansen Field, just under a minute away from the second quarter. Ponoka up 7-0. It'll be a 3rd and 1 with the ball inside the Pioneers' 10. Looks like a long one. That might be closer to 2. And a big down as we open up second quarter action. Nusek scanning, throwing left, has a man, shutting off the defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers, Colby Davis.
It was a good throw under pressure by the Ponoka's quarterback. They had a guy in his face, still made that throw to that out route. Well done.
Apologies, I was looking at the wrong roster. That was Noah Bandera scoring that one for the Broncs. And that'll make it a 13-0 lead pending the extra point. So Bandera, when you get the 2-point conversion, they call it an octopus. Not sure what it is when you get the single point after, but Bandera kicks it through. 14-0 is the lead. So once again, Bandera into the end zone.
Look at that snow.
Yeah, it's starting to kind of blow around here a little bit. It's not settling on the field like we seen last night on that Thursday night football game. It was just an absolute snowball there in Cleveland. We're not quite there, but it's probably a lot colder here as well. It's like a tundra outside. So Bronx coming onto that break, 2 straight touchdowns, 2 stops on defense. Look at this. Still says minus 15 on my phone. Once again, I was just outside. That doesn't feel like it. Kick will go long. It's received by Shannon. Shannon over the middle across the 40 and now the 45 before he's taken down by Potts.
Nice returns. Kept finding seams. Well blocked up by the Peace River special teams.
So the Pioneers, after giving up 2 straight touchdowns, Now down a couple of possessions here on their opening drive of the second quarter. Here's Nusek in at quarterback. Jumbo formation here. Handoff. Ball's on the ground. Brooks pick it up. And they'll take it to the 20. Hayden Rain picked up the fumble.
That's that jumble set we saw Peace River working on in warm-up. But again, that cold in those exchanges, everybody's having trouble with it today.
Yeah, we've seen it on the Bronx side a little more, but the Pioneers have yet to really take advantage. In fact, one of the last times that happened to the Bronx, they ran almost 100 yards for a touchdown. So the bounces have been going their way so far, but got a long ways to go. Frank at quarterback, quick flip to the receiver, Jeffrey. Jeffrey with some room down the left side, couldn't quite get the edge. He was beat to a spot there by Kylan Rabalkin.
This is good defense. It's not spectacular highlight style defense, but it's good defense. Just keep stringing the running back out wider and wider till he runs out of sideline. Don't let him have that edge. It's great defense.
Call it a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 18. Frank, lots of motion here. They'll fake the flip. Frank takes it himself. Has some room down the left side and angles himself out of bounds. First down from the 9.
That was a design QB run, well executed.
So the Bronx on the doorstep. This was a tight first quarter. Obviously their teammate goes down with an injury and they have responded well coming out of that break. Ball's out! And who touched it out? The two officials are gonna get together, talk it over for a moment. Haven't seen a sign yet. It'll stay Bronx ball, but way back at about the 20. Get a look. Ooh. Not sure.
13 did a great job punching that ball out.
Two players, by the way, just knowing Canadian rules, not always something you see in high school.
True.
2nd and goal, but from the 20, Frank stepping over the middle, nearly intercepted. And this could set up a 26-yard field goal. You're not punting it from here unless you want that rouge.
He had good protection, just tried to force a ball maybe he didn't need to throw.
And the Bronx will be kicking. So we've seen Bandera on a couple of extra point attempts. This is kind of an area that we haven't seen how the footing is going to affect the game yet on these field goal kick. It's up from Bandera. It has the leg. It is just wide. And it'll bounce out of the end zone for a single.
That's something to take notice for later in the game. He's got the leg to kick some field goals.
Field goal was unsuccessful. We have a rouge.
Looked like it was good for a while. Looks like that wind was... You can look at the snow blowing a little bit right to left on your screen there. Might have affected that kick. Looks like it's starting to get a little windier, and it would be blowing from where we're about to show you, or where we're showing you right now. It looks like it's blowing from the right to the left. And that might have done just enough to affect that kick. So the Pioneers will take it. They'll gain 15 yards. They'll lose a point. And they'll go right back to that jumbo set. Nusek, handoff. Down the right, it's Shannon with some room. Sheds a tackler near the sideline. It's a foot race, and he's taken down out of bounds at about the 30.
Nice lead block by 44 going down there. It's a nice little play, a little fake action. 77 kicks his guy out, and 44 leads him down the field.
One of the biggest plays of the game for the Pioneers so far. It was out at the 37. Go back to the jumbo once more, and whistles on the snap. We got a flag.
Illegal procedure number 9, Pioneers. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Procedure on Peace River goes back 5.
Looks like on the left side of that line.
Yeah, just getting excited to get up on his block.
So that'll take it to a 1st and 15.
Back to this jumbo set.
Just outside the 40. Another handoff. It'll go to Kenny, who's taken down in the backfield. Looked like that might have been Dominic Desjardins again.
Nice backside pursuit. Just ran that play down from behind.
Bandera will get an assist on that tackle as well. So back to jumbo. This time one receiver out to the right. Quick pass. It is picked off. This is Weston Potts.
Read that play perfectly and come and high pointed the ball. That's how you play safety. Well done.
So now the Bronx with it. Quick handoff to Cardinal Beaverbones. He's got room down the left side, spinning across the 40. Didn't want to go out of bounds. Quick point to the crowd. First down. Big gainer for Beaverbones.
The Bronx are just starting to feel the momentum here. They're getting on blocks. They're running harder. They're seeing success and they're getting excited here. Momentum.
You know, every facet of the game so far has looked good for the Bronx, which really is shocking when we talked about what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, they did not start out very clean.
Run down the left side for Frank. Not a ton of room there. He was met quickly by Tate Cousins.
Yep. Peace River didn't bite on the play action, but he stayed in their lanes. And the quarterback ran into a bunch of defenders. Like Bill Belichick says, do your job.
Yeah, it's Cody Baird would have to play a lot more than Bill Belichick for this team. He's also got to play the whole coaching tree. Just one man on that sideline. Frank rolling to the right. Quick pass over the middle. They were looking for Bandera. And the pass was a bit short. So that'll bring up 3rd down. See if they go for it here.
Just tried to late releasing screen and couldn't quite get the ball away.
Well, we've seen an attempt from just outside 25. I believe we see a tee on the field here for Noah Bandera. This would be a long one. Places the tee right beyond that 42-yard line. Does he have the leg? Kick is up. It is going to be close, just short. Chance to return it now for the Pioneers. It's into the hands of Davis, and he'll get stopped inside the 15. There are flags on the return.
Davis gets the missed field goal.
Couldn't have struck it much better, just didn't quite have the leg.
Flag on the play here. So
Yeah, good snap, good hold, just not quite far enough. It looked like that little bit of wind, again, like you said, pushed it a little bit and held it up.
Yeah, and once again, he might have the range from about 42, but that football right now is as hard as a rock.
Be like kicking a stone.
Let's get the call. On that return. Looked like it was in the area of the tackle. And they'll discuss things with Newsec, and indication is this is against the Pioneers.
After the punt, we have face mask number 30 Pioneers. It's a 15-yard penalty. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down, Peace River.
So that's going to be a costly one. It'll bring it all the way back to the 1. And the Pioneers are 109 yards away from where they want to be.
That's a face mask on the returner.
Yeah, that's not
Oh,
common,
yeah.
is it?
No, right there. Tried to stiff arm him. Put his hand right in his mask.
So dangerous area here for the Pioneers. They're going to give it out wide. They got to get it out of this end zone. It's Rabalkin. He is out. Not going to get a ton more. They were just trying to get themselves off the back of their own goal line.
That's a tough play call, running a sweep right there in your end zone, 'cause he had to go around the uprights. Like he had to go behind the uprights, which just cost him yardage.
So it might have gained 1. There is a flag on the play as well.
We have offside, number 50, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And that is huge.
That's a lucky break.
Yeah, we're talking 2nd and 9 on your own 2 versus 1st and 5 on your own 6, and that playbook should just open up.
Come on, boys, hold them there.
They got that bunch going on the side here.
Nusek, it's going to be a quarterback run. Has some room, first down. And he's pushed out inside their own 20.
Again, that ball bobbled free again. Everybody's having trouble holding on to it.
Yeah, right at the end of that play.
Good concentration to get it back.
Can't be getting any easier to hold onto that football with the snow blowing around right now too. Just that little bit of extra moisture on a already tough day, tough night. Nusek's gonna go to the air, bit of a high snap, handled it well. Looking to pull it and run. Spins away from one tackle and gets met by another. Good job by Nusek though, he'll pick up about 5.
He was looking for something over on this side of the field, and then it didn't turn out, so he had to pull the ball and run. Made a good scramble, though.
So this will set up a 2nd and 5. Nusek's going to go under center I formation. They'll hand it off to the back. Shannon tries to get some hard-earned yards over the middle. He's not going to get a first down here. Maybe enough to think about going forward on 3rd. It'll be 3rd and a long one.
He's not following his fullback there. The 14's done a good job lead blocking for him tonight. He should stay behind him a little bit longer.
5.5 minutes to go. Pioneers are going to go for it. Quarterback sneak. Nusek, ton of room on that line. Pioneers will win it in the trenches and pick up a first down. Again, a 5 on that one.
Quick snap, caught Ponoka a little unaware, and got the first down they needed. Good push by the offensive line on that one.
So that'll take it to the 33. Would like to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who's a funding provider to the ASAA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. Short run there for Shannon. Going to set up a 2nd and about 7.
I really like the push that Peace River's offensive line's getting right now this last couple of plays. If they can keep that up, they can start to move the ball quite consistently in this weather.
Got 4:40 to go here in this first half. Another jumbo set. They'll give it to Shannon. Some room down the right side. He's dragged out of bounds. Hayden Rain had an arm around him. Makes the play.
They tried that off motion handoff again. This time number 3 spied it out. He was ready for it.
So it'll be another 3rd down gamble here. 3rd and 2. And a push from behind. We'll pick up the first down. Like Nusek might have not had that original surge, but got a bit of a push in the back afterwards by Shannon.
Again, that's a good push by the O-line, but yeah.
That push from the back by Shannon there, is that not a flag?
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, you're not allowed to, you can push the pile, but not the player.
Maybe went up and pushed an O-lineman, had a bit of a tough look at it. Here's Nusek. Deep play It was Potts in coverage. Not sure if he might have just got a finger on it.
Potts was out there playing safety again, reading the quarterback's eyes. And it was the man on the spot again.
Got just enough of it. So that'll be a 2nd and 10 now from the Peace River 45. They've gotten a couple of first downs on this drive. They haven't come easy. A couple of third down gambles have got them there. Jumbo set again. They're going to run it. Hand off to Pack over the middle, and a pickup of 8, maybe 9, and they're clearly going to have to go forward on 3rd and short once again.
It's kind of a broken play. It's designed to go on the outside, but he turns it back up. Ponoka had the sweep stopped up, and he turns it back up and gets some yards out of it. It's a good piece of running.
Another quarterback sneak. Good push here for Nusek. There's a flag on the snap. So
I don't
wipe
think
everything that happened.
I don't think Peace River was set for that one. They tried that quick snap again.
This would either be an automatic first down or it would come back 5 yards and be a 3rd and 6. Let's get the call.
No infraction on the play. Number 44 was on the line of scrimmage. It'll be first down, Peace River.
All right, so that 3rd down conversion, good to go. You get another look at the good push here by Nosek. Right back to the jumbo set they go. Their last play before the 3-minute warning here in the 2nd quarter. Bronx up by 2 touchdowns. Pioneers looking to respond. A first down completion to Kylan Rebalkin.
That's pretty good play development. You run that jumbo set with run. Get you everybody coming forward to stop the run. Dump it over their heads.
That'll go to the Bronx 35. Nusek, he's just going to sneak it here on first down. They've gotten some good pushes from there, and just a gain of a few on that one.
Peace River's found a formation that works here.
Set up a 2nd and 7. Looked like Nusek might have came up a little limp on that one as well. So we'll keep an eye on that in these next couple plays. Coming out of the Hudl, though, he jogs to the line. Looks good. Every hit today is going to hurt. Another handoff to Shannon, driving down that right side, somehow staying on his feet and falling forward. Turns no gain into maybe a yard, but the Bronx will win that down.
It's a good play by Hayden Rain here, this outside linebacker. He stays in his lane, does his job, and maintains the edge. Well done. He wasn't fooled by all that motion.
Rain's flashed a couple times today. We do have Kean Owens down right now for the Pioneers, so trainer's out to see him.
Hopefully he can get back in a couple plays here. Their offensive line's been getting a good push for him.
So 2:23 left here in the 2nd quarter. They're going to take Owens off the field here, struggling to put any pressure on that right leg right now, so not a great sign. We'll hope that Owens is all right.
Means somebody else is getting an opportunity.
Yeah, you know, we talked earlier on about these small rosters for these teams, and we're just not sure what that depth is anywhere right now. And, you know, whenever you lose a player, you lose someone on both sides of the ball. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Pioneers are going for it. They've converted a few times on this drive. They're going to throw. It's complete. It was to Tate Cousins. Not sure if they have enough for a first down.
Nice little play. Looks like the sweep, and he rolls out for a pass.
Still no official sign yet. Bronx ball.
Didn't get it.
maybe about a half a yard. You think about just the implications of that play, Corey. You score going into the break. You're down a possession. And now the Bronx have a chance to go up 3.
And the way they've been getting that sweep to work, they could get a play here that works and get up by three scores.
Frank under center, quick sweep, not a lot of room. And there's 3, maybe 4 tacklers in there for the Pioneers, building a wall right at that D line.
There's some confusion in the backfield. They had some people running into each other there a little bit.
Colby Davis, Rockwell Plant in on the tackle. So Bronx will go to the air. They have a man down the middle. Bandera sheds off one tackler, falling forward. Looks like he's got enough for a first. He does.
Nice quick throw and catch here. Little Travis Kelce slant route.
Bronx offense staying warm right now. They're going to go deep on this one. They have a man. It's Potts to the 45. We were watching warm-ups. Potts kind of flashed a little bit. He looks like one of their longer players. Nice long arms. What you want out of a receiver. Jump ball. And back just in time was Tobin Thomas in coverage. They nearly had Caden Jeffrey. Let's get a look at the contact here. I think that's well defended. A couple people wanted a PI.
I think he arrived there right with the ball, so nothing wrong with that.
There is a flag on the play. Doesn't look like it's in the area of the secondary. Sitting right near the line of scrimmage. And they're going to bring both coaches over to discuss this one. Not sure if it has anything to do with what happened on the play, but I think they're also walking Coda Owens off the field here. And he looks frustrated. Really frustrated. So if that's any sign, this is going to go against the Pioneers, and this could be a long penalty.
He's having to walk off the field too, so.
Yeah. Coda Owens, a running back, a linebacker, he's getting thrown out of this game. Went to the sidelines, he got frustrated, threw his helmet into the ground, and now the officials are walking him out of here. Didn't see anything bad.
No, which means he might have said
We have
something.
rough play, number 44. It's a 25-yard penalty, automatic first down. 44 is removed from the game.
Wow.
Rough play penalty, 25 yards and an ejection. Let's get a look, see if we can catch where 44 is. Kind of over the middle there on the line and kind of went out of frame there. Not sure if maybe he just finished that block. Didn't see anything. Didn't see a big commotion. Here's a better look at it. Oh, there it is. Seen there, a punch thrown. It was Jake Martell, and you know, I think at every level of football there's been an emphasis to throw that guy out. You can't throw a punch.
Yeah, that's just emotional kid with a bad choice.
It was whistles on the next snap as well. And might have been a timing thing or something. Maybe play was never whistled in. No flags. So we'll continue at 1st and 10. Frank. Taken down. Huge sack and a flag. That was Colby Davis with the sack. It was going to be a loss of at least 10. And watch on this replay as he's getting up. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not, but he steps over Frank
At the end of the play, we have objectionable conduct number 30. It's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Keep doing that, 30!
So the yardage on that one won't take him to a first down.
Yeah, just a split-second poor decision can costing yourself. You made a great play. Turn around and celebrate with your teammates.
That is 35 yards of penalties here on the last two plays for a Pioneers team that is down by 15. Broncos still in a second and long, looking to take advantage. Frank to on the left side, out of the reach of the receiver. And based on what we've seen so far, we are likely to see another long field goal attempt here from Bandera. It would be 30 yards.
That was well covered. I don't know if he should have made that throw. Peace River had that receiver covered up.
So the tee is out. We've seen Bandera kick a couple. One from 16, one from 42 that fell about 5 or 6 yards short. This one split it down the middle at 30. We know he's got the leg, but there is some wind out there blowing right to left. That's what forced the first miss. Got his second kick caught up in the wind as well. And now from just outside 30, looking to make it an 18-point game, and it's blocked on the line. Picked up by Shannon. It'll be Pioneers' ball with 23 and a half seconds left.
So let's see what Peace River has for a play in their playbook to get down the field in 23 seconds. Maybe they could call Mill Woods and see what they've got for that play.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of these ones earlier. You know, anytime the ball was on the 36-yard line, like that's scoring range. If you ever haven't watched, if you've never watched six-a-side football, that game finished 100-50, folks. So time for a few more plays here for the Pioneers. New Sec scanning the right side, has a man, makes a couple miss, and we'll pick up close to a first down here for Pack.
Pretty close to a first down.
Solid protection.
Yep. And with that piece of ball.
Got the first down, but they have to get more yards than that if they want to score before this half runs out.
Pioneers take a timeout as well with just over 17 seconds to go.
It'll be after midnight by the time I get home now. So
It is a cold night here at Lincoln Hansen Field. It's been an interesting game. If you missed the first quarter, Hudson Shumick Bruns went down with an injury. Ambulance had to come. We've had a long delay in this one as well. This game started at 6, and as we near the end of the second quarter, it's already 7:45. So we are almost 2 hours into this game. And of course, as that, well, I was going to say sun continues to set. It has been set. As the night continues to go, it just gets colder and colder. Peace River would really love to have something here at the end of the first half. Don't necessarily need it in a two-possession game. They've had some big plays in this one, but they've yet to punch it in. I form. Quick handoff to one of the bigger guys up front. It went to Lauren. Just keeping those feet churning. Looks like he's got enough for a first down with 11 seconds to go.
I mean, that's a solid play when you want to gain yards, but we're running out of time in this half. You want to get near the end zone. But definitely put that play in your pocket and come back to it later in the second half.
Peace River is going to call another timeout. It's a handoff to an O lineman there in Lauren. You know, that's one thing I've learned about watching this game and the 6-a-side before is any player on the field just has to be so ready for anything. You're always more than just an old lineman when you're playing with those guys on the field.
The idea, you have to be a football player. You got to be decent at it all.
Talking about decent at it all, we've seen Alexander Kenny in this game a couple times. He's listed on my roster as running back, receiver, center, linebacker, defensive back. A couple of those. So 11 seconds to go. Peace River still just beyond midfield. They need 53 to the end zone. They're going to go to the air. Down the left side, one-on-one coverage. And at the very last moment, Jeffrey stuck that left hand out, prevented what might have been a touchdown.
He went stride for stride with this receiver and made a great play. Like that's highlight reel for DBs.
That was close
Shut him
for
down.
Neufeld.
Oh.
Close. So maybe still time for 2 more plays here for the Pioneers. 6.8 to go. Remember, Canadian timing rules. Just got to get down before those zeros. You'll have 1 more play. They'll go to the air again. This time down the middle. And can't quite connect with Mac Pack Pack.
Good protection, just went right through his hands. You might have heard footsteps of Potts coming downhill there as a safety.
He's had a good game today on both sides of the ball, Potts has.
He has.
So Nusek, do they have some last second magic here in the first half? He's going to roll to the right. He's going to run. He's got a lot of space in front of him, and now 2, 3 tacklers there take Nusek out of bounds. And unless there's a flag, that will be the end of the first half. An interesting one, Corey.
It very much was. I mean, Ponoka started off slow with trouble just holding on to the ball, but seemed to get it together. And Peace River started to find their rhythm on offense as well and started to move the ball as the half went on.
So that will bring an end to the first half of action here at Lincoln Hansen Field. Corey, we had that long delay with the player down, so you want to get on the road and we'll let you go. So
Thank
we'll
you
be
very
joined
much.
by Rob Harrod in the first half. It was an absolute pleasure. You know, I don't like to break the fourth wall too much, but this is your first game today and you did a great job. So thank you so much for joining us on this IC Live Procast of the 2024 9-a-side Provincial Championship. 15-0 is the score for the Bronx. Headed into the break.
Yo, check the rhythm, feel the vibe, beats dropping hard, making heads collide, bass thumping loud, shaking up the street. Every step I take, moving to the beat, lightning fast, I'm breaking it down, feeling the pulse in every sound, never miss a step, always on the move. The beat's my partner, we groove as 1, 2. I close my eyes and let the music flow in this crazy world. It's the only thing I know. The rhythm.
We are back at Lincoln Hansen Field. 9-a-side provincial championship. The Peace River Pioneers facing off against the Ponoka Bronx. I am now joined by Rob Herod on commentary. 6-a-side provincial champion. Congratulations, Rob. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thanks very much. It was an emotional one. It was a big one. We didn't quite get there last year. We had a little hiccup in the playoffs last year, so it was good to get back. And then, of course, facing our rival in Hannah, such a well-coached team, a great team. But we had their number. We executed our game plan. So, but glad to be here. Going to be working with you the next day and a half here, and we're going to get all the games tomorrow. But really excited. I've been watching this 9-a-side next to you guys here, as you called the first half, and lots going on, lots of different formations, different play actions, that kind of stuff. I like what I'm seeing out there from both teams. I think, again, Ponoka's obviously got the edge right now after a couple big plays in that second quarter. But again, Peace River seemed to actually settle down, I thought, in the end of that second quarter. Had a little momentum, didn't quite get it to the end zone, but they've put up some yards, and they're going to need to find a way here just to get some points on the board, get a little jolt of energy. I think even the block kick at the end of the quarter there is something that they can kind of build off of. We'll see. Getting the ball first here, the third quarter.
They have had some decent drives, have yet to punch it in. Big kickoff off the foot of Bandera, bouncing to the end zone. And it looks like we are going to start this. Might be starting the second half off of the Rouge, but it's a return out just past the 5 for MacPac.
So, yeah, great kick. And, again, they've lined up for some long field goals, right? So we know he's got a leg. And then, of course, as we saw in the first game and in this game, the kicks are just sliding on the turf. Yeah. You know, it's pretty slick. Again, I spent the last couple hours down there, and it got colder throughout our game. And then, again, even now any moisture turns to ice, and that ball is just slippery. You guys were talking about how that ball rock hard. Of course it is, and it is just slick out there. So you're right, that ball bounced, that ball slid, and it went pretty deep. A little surprised he decided to bring that one out, but he did. And again, if he would have broken a tackle or two, he may have had an opportunity to take that to the house. And sometimes you can overkick your coverage on special teams. And when I say that, you kind of outkick the ability of guys to cover in lanes. And when you get cover guys coming downfield, gaps get created in their coverage. And that's where if you hit that seam as a returner, you can make it big. But again, Ponoka did a great job there of corralling the returner, and they've got him pinned deep here. We'll see if the defense can stand up tall to get that ball back in decent field position, or is this the time for Peace River to step up and build off that momentum? It's going to be a long field. They've had this long field before, and they've had a little success in getting out. We'll see what they can do here as we get into this quarter.
Had a couple injured players there. MacPac for the Pioneers, as well as Weston Potts for the Bronx. Looked like he was hobbled walking off the field. Couple big injuries. Run play on first down.
Well, great first down execution, running downhill. You can see him just coming at the fullback out in front, leading, and away he goes. Finds a little bit of a seam, and you can see Ponoka's secondary. They've got, I think, 4 guys there. A little bit of kind of cover, too, making sure they don't go to the air and give up a big play. But a big run there here and an important second down.
It'll set up a 2nd and 2 from the 14. Power football. Ball's on the ground, and the Bronx are on it. Boy, oh boy, a big turnover. And the Bronx are in scoring range as another Bronc went down after the play.
Well, you can see guys slipping around. The ball's spinning. It's like a top on that icy field. Again, cleats are still able to get in, and the turf is not bad because your cleats can dig in. You'll still have a grip. We haven't seen a ton of guys slip, but you can see there that ball just spins and spins, and bouncing around. And loose ball is important. And when you get into this time of the playoffs, often that ball security piece is absolutely critical. When there's snow, when there's wind, when there's rain. And again, we've seen some turnovers be costly, and this one's costly deep in their own end, handing them really, I mean, this is scoring position for them with a kicker that can kick some field goals. And so they're in great field position to come out of this one. Again, Peace River trying to build a little bit of momentum. Coming after that block kick in the last quarter, and they got a little drive, got some movement, just couldn't score before the time ran out. But again, that turnover is costly. 2nd and short, almost an automatic first down, but it wasn't because of that exchange. And you know, that relationship between a center and a quarterback is always so important. I mean, You are working with those guys for hours and hours and hours trying to get that mesh point, trying to get the exchange properly. Your hands, you've talked about it in the show, the hands are getting cold, and again, sometimes it's like just catching that ball underneath the center can be a task. So you never take anything for granted now in this type of weather, and these finals always ending up in the end of November here. Real Canadian football, they say, and you got to get it done in the cold if you're going to get it done. So let's see what they have here. Great field position for Ponoka.
It has to feel worse than minus 20 right now, and we already seen a rouge in this game as well. This is true Canadian football. Injured player on the play was Talon Graham. He jogged off under his own power. And not much on first down for the Bronx.
Well, a dominant play by the defensive line. You can see them just coming full speed through. And again, the line so often, it's games like this, but all football, you know, it's won and lost in the trenches. In that case, when you see the defensive lineman getting all three offensive linemen into the backfield, that doesn't leave a lot of space for your quarterback.
Frank going to go to the air, rolling out of the pocket to the right. That one's going to bounce off the ground in first down territory as Potts slams his hands in frustration, although it is good to see him back on the field.
I like him moving in the pocket. Again, you get some pressure on the last play. Move the pocket a little bit as he rolls out. Again, just got to get a little bit more on that. Just a little bit low. Catchable. You know, and as a receiver, you know, you're going to tell yourself, yes, I can catch that. But again, you know, got to get it on there. But that's the cold weather, right? It's all the different factors that happen. And, you know, as a quarterback, when you want to come around and you're rolling out, you got to practice it so much because it's different. Your feet aren't planted on the ground. You're on the move. And it just takes a little bit of core torsion to try to get that ball with a little bit of zip on it. So he's going to want to connect on that one next time. He had his receiver just skipped off the turf in front of him.
Had a timeout by the Bronx on that last down. We got a big 3rd and 12 coming up now from the 17. We know that their kicker Bandera has the leg for this, but they are 0 for 3 so far. Haven't been easy ones. One of those was from 42 in this weather, and I think if you asked even CFL kicker, 42 in this weather, not an easy one.
Yeah, and that one was into the wind. It was snowing at that point in time. I think the snow, looking across the field, the lights has kind of stopped, but the snow was going from left to right, almost straight. So there was a fair bit of wind and snow, and that just fell short. But he's got the leg. Again, this putting it up to 18 if he's good makes it a 3-score game. So some critical points here for Ponoka as they start to dream about what could come at the end of the 4th.
24-yard attempt is up and wide. So tough kicking conditions. It'll be returned just outside the goal line, so no rouge. And the Pioneers will take over. Just pushed it again. Looked like it kind of veered again. Maybe that wind taking it just a bit off its direction.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a high school kicker is sometimes tough to come by. So, again, he's got the strength and, again, working on his accuracy. And, again, a tough ball to kick, tough conditions to kick in. So they're going to bring this one out. I think it's at the 20. Because, again, on a missed field goal, if you get it out of the end zone, which he did just by a yard and a half, you get it out a little bit further than that. So, yes, on the 20, they've marked it to start this drive for Peace River.
Ball at the 20. Quick look to the left. It is complete as they find Justin Neufeld. Good first down yardage.
Well, Neufeld did a good job kind of gearing down because you can see he comes in from the bottom or the right side of our screen. There's a linebacker right there. So contact as he's catching that ball. He did a great job there of snagging it, securing the catch, and then bouncing off the tackle, wheeling it back to the outside to get some positive yards. So again, gain of about 4 yards. I think we're looking at 2nd and 6. See if they can keep this going.
Nusek looking over the middle. Has a man. It's complete. Rebalkin out to the 48. Gain of 24.
Well, great pass protection in the pocket. You can see him just settling in there. He's got his eyes. He goes, looks off to the left, brings the safety over. You can see the Ponoka defender number 1 coming in from the left-hand side. Because he looked to the left, took him over to that side, came back to the wide-open post. Had a nice job. And what a great catch with his hands. Cold hands, cold weather, cold football. Great job looking it in and catching that ball securely.
Handoff, Shannon One man to miss. Oh boy, that was a big tackle there for the Bronx. Altizer made the tackle and there wasn't a lot of support behind him.
Yeah, I can see as he just is patient, he reads, he bounces, but what a great linebacker play, again, wrapping him up. And, you know, I don't know how much you guys were talking about tackling in our game, but there were some definitely missed tackles in that game, and it's tough. You're getting cold, it's hard. You don't really want to wrap them up and land on your own hands as you tackle them, and so that's a great tackle there as he got to the edge, especially in this cold weather.
Bit of a bobbled snap. Good job by Nusek to recover. He is taken down in the backfield. Ball came out as well, but the play was blown dead. That's Altizer. Had the tackle that might have saved a touchdown and follows it up with a sack.
Yeah, and you can just see it pursued. You can see the caution as they pursue because it's like, okay, I've got to be aware of my footing, and of course that was an important piece there. You know, and they had the receiver kind of going deep, and sometimes you got to put your foot in the ground and just let it go. In that case, he tried to buy himself some more time. So, you know, what I think I'd like to see, it looks like they've got some athletes on the field that can get in space. You got to get that ball out a little bit quicker. Just get it in the time, again, get positive plays. That time, again, took too long, didn't get the receiver downfield, had to take the loss.
Pioneers are going to have to punt it away. End over ender will bounce just outside the 45. Taken by Bandera. Trying to turn it down the right side of the field. He'll run out of bounds right at that center line.
Well, Bandera, a very good athlete. We've seen him well in the action today. Again, we talk about on special teams the impact it can have. Obviously, we've seen some stuff today and in the earlier game. Again, great job. Ball security, ball security, ball security. All coaches are going to preach that all night long. Ball security is the most important. Your defense has done a great job to get a stop. They're going to punt the ball back to you. Ball security, and they get a great athlete back there in Bandera, and he did a really good job of just securing it, getting some positive yards. Again, the clock is ticking here in the third quarter, and Ponoka's got the lead, and so again, time is on their side.
Frank gonna go to the air, feels the pressure, tucks it, runs across the 50, tried to tiptoe in bounds for a while, and he'll be taken out after a gain of 7.
Yeah, he doesn't like what he sees, and off he goes, gets some positive yards. We talked about that when the Pioneers had the ball, getting positive yards, keep it positive. Hey, 8 yards on first down. You can't ask an offense to do anything more than that. So, again, really wise decision, pulls it down, and away he goes. And he knows if the coverage is deep, he's going to have a little space to run.
Hand off as they give it to Cardinal Beaverbones, who scored that long touchdown earlier in this game. Not a ton here, but we do have a flag on the play. It was thrown kind of around the linebackers, maybe the secondary.
So watching this develop, your receiver needs to block the corner. And again, going laterally is doable in the snow, but it does create some challenges. So we'll see what happens here with the call as they're sorting that out.
Before yards gained, we had holding, number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That'll be coming back, making it a 2nd and 13. Rob, feel free not to answer this as the lights turn on and give us all the glare in the announce booth back again. Did your game plan today at all change because of the snow?
You know, we were aware of a few things that we may have to adjust to, but fortunately, what we did, and we actually did a lot of lateral movement in our backfield, and we got a supreme athlete that was running the ball today. It really helped us. So we actually were able to stick to our game plan. We did a lot of, and off he goes.
Big play by the Pioneers, who take it away from Carson Frank in the Bronx. There is a flag, it looks like, as well on the play.
Just checking there. Shannon, number 2, Shannon or is that number 3? Oh, number 3.
That's Austin Toner.
Austin Toner, what a great job of just watching the quarterback and reacting. And this is the challenge with these conditions. And we'll get the call here, but the conditions, it's hard to make cuts. And so you got to kind of be going in a direction. If that ball is thrown behind the receiver, it's the DB who now has the advantage. For that receiver to try to break down and get back to it is really hard to do. We'll get the call here and see what happens?
Big call.
We have unnecessary roughness, blindside block number 30. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down, Peace River.
So that was after the interception, so the Pioneers will take the turnover. Big play by Toner.
Just you can see behind number 4, wasn't able to get it there, and again, just off he goes. He actually had 2 receivers in the area, and the DB is the one with the best opportunity, and what a great job there by him to jump that and maybe flip the tide here. Again, they need some momentum, they need a play, they need to get some points on the board here before this quarter winds out.
Pioneers have gotten to scoring territory a couple of times. Bobbled snap, somehow still got it out. That screen on the right side. And the Bronx think they have it. They do. Another turnover by the Pioneers.
Seems like every time they get something positive going, you can see they get the ball out to him. And as he's running, ball's out. And again, ball security is absolutely critical in these conditions in championship games. And the turnover goes back to the Bronx.
Caden Jeffrey hopped on it. So Bronx have gotten a few turnovers here in the second half. They have yet to capitalize. They'll have a chance from the Pioneer 44. Ball's on the ground again. Frank picks it up and somehow finds positive yardage. Rob, I don't know how.
That ball is extremely hard to get off the ground. And again, the exchange lands on the ground. He gets it. It's like the defense is kind of stymied a little, like that ball's on the ground. They look up, and he's got a gap in front of him. So, again, positive yards is what you want. We've got someone down. I can't quite see the number right now, but we'll be taking a little bit of a pause here. But, back to your question about game planning. As you progress as a team through the playoffs, and again, this year we've had some great weather. Like for the most part, up until this last week, it's been really nice. The snow has stayed away on most fields. And so, again, a lot of these guys, we as our team prepared, we didn't get a lot of practice time. And this week, there's barely any fields open to practice at. And so we went indoors once, we were outside once, and then we were, of course, here last night or yesterday afternoon getting a quick hour practice in to get used to that cold. But your game plan does adapt with the cold, and you have to be a little bit more cautious. And how we coached guys and how the coaches are talking to their players, hey, make the right decision. Turnovers are going to be critical. Protect the ball. You're better off throwing it out. And our quarterback in the last game threw a couple picks. And again, our conversation on the sideline, hey, we don't need to throw it into traffic. Throw it away. Make the right decision. Live to see the next down. And you want to make sure that happens. And so you're talking about all those things throughout the year. And we preach, every coach preaches, hey, if you want to win a championship, you're going to play in foul weather. Whether it's rain during the year, as we get to the playoffs, it's the cold, and of course we are dealing with snow and very frigid conditions, probably colder than we've seen in the province so far this year for football. So again, you're preparing your guys not just the week prior, but throughout the process. It's like, I remember talking to our guys a month ago saying, hey, the reason we're out here in this cold day is because you need to learn how to dress. You need to learn how to prepare. You got layers. You got heat packs tagged all over your body to try to keep you warm, right? The toes and fingers, most important thing, you get something around your neck to keep that wind away.
That was Berkeley Ferguson being helped off there for the Pioneers. Seeing the injury starting to stack up on both sides. Quick play up the middle. We got another flag here as they gave it to Bandera.
I think the flag may be pass interference, but I'm really curious to see. I think that timing looked really good. You can see a little, kind of makes contact.
Maybe a little bit of a hold on the cut there.
Yeah, it may have come early. You're right. It was not likely when the ball arrived. I think the timing was good there, but a little bit of hold as he kind of looked like he was going to the flat and came back in. But we'll see. It looks like they're actually marching it back, so maybe this is a little bit of a push off.
Holding number 87 is a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
I've seen a lot of Bandera today. Tremendous athlete. He's a provincial winner, not in football, but in javelin, and kind of it makes sense when he's an athletic guy like that, why he does so much, kicking field goals, running the ball a bunch. He is in the running for their team MVP award. Here's a look for Frank, pointing to a receiver to the sideline. It falls incomplete.
We talked about decision-making in a game like this. Right now, Ponoka's in control with the points that they've scored. What a great decision. As he rolls out, he's trying to direct traffic. He's like, okay, I'm going to throw this where if my receiver is not catching it, no one's catching it. And that's a great decision. I know it's 2nd and 12. You're like, try to squeeze this in there. You know what? Right now, force Peace River to earn some points. Don't give anything to them, and that's the type of decision you want from your guy. And yeah, they're going to be in a punt situation here. You never know. Maybe get a fake or something, but you know what? Right now, they're in control. They're operating as they should. And again, great decision. Just throw it away, play the field position game. That clock just continues to wind. And where's the pressure mount? Mounts on the side of Peace River. They need to get some points on the board. Again, every time they get a positive play, turnover, something negative happens. They got to find a way to just kind of keep that churning, be disciplined. Again, go back to your basics. And you talk about the building of an offensive system or even a defensive system. You've got your foundation. You lay the foundation very early on. That carries from year to year. And then based on your personnel, you adapt a few things, but you want to get those fundamentals down. And really in a game like this, you go back to the fundamentals. You go back to the foundation of your offense. You're going to pull a couple trick plays out in those second-level plays. Hey, we're going to run that sweep, but when they shut the sweep down, how are we going to counter at that? And so you can add those different pieces in, but that foundation is where you go back to, and I think that's where Peace River needs to get back to. Some of those foundational, simple things they can execute, and they've executed all year long. Just get some positive plays. You tack 2 or 3 or 4 of those, eventually you're going to spring one. You're going to get some opportunity. And again, special teams is another place where, hey, let's field this cleanly, let's get on a move, and then just run, because it's hard to change direction on this field.
It's something, we'll get back to it after this punt here, that Coach Cody Baird mentioned to us before the game. That ball is off a Pioneer hand, but they will fall on it, I think, and there's a flag on the play as well. He said that this was the first year in their school history, and I actually don't know if this happens at many schools at all, but that every single player on this Bronx team came into the year with football experience. So he said that it was an advantage going to training camp, because instead of having to teach, obviously you're still going through, you're teaching them the basics, a lot of young players, especially on a team with just 2 grade 12s, but you're talking about now about knocking off the rust instead of more of that teaching kind of training camp and the very basics of it.
Well, and that's where you can build the next level of a system. You know, the kids are coming back. They understand the foundational pieces, and maybe it was some growing pains last year as you learn it, but you've got those pieces, and then you can add. This is going to be an interesting call. We got a couple flags. So the first flag was the first flag I saw was no yards, but they also ran into the kicker. Now, it's going to be interesting how this gets applied. So the running into the kicker may keep the ball in the hands of the Bronx. But I'm not sure. We'll see, because it was kind of after the kicking process. He just kind of gave him an extra shove, which definitely is a discipline thing. You can't take those. This could be costly if they do. But they're definitely sorting it out. And heads-up play by the Pioneer player on this. So we'll get a good shot here. You just follow it through to the end. There, again, first he picks up the ball off the graph, and here he's kind of standing there. He just gives him a shove. A little bit of a dive, maybe, but good heads-up play on the other guy. He knows the Pioneer guy or the Ponoka guy is right next to him, and so he reaches out to catch it. Although it's like, oh, it's a fumble. It's actually no yards because he did that. And so, again, you obviously want to catch it, but the no yards call, and we're going to get either a roughing the kicker or unnecessary roughness.
If that is roughing the punter, that could make it a first down here for the Bronx on a 3rd and 15. The 15 would give him the first down.
Yeah, it really depends. I'm not sure all the rules on hitting a kicker. And we got to maybe read up tonight when we go back before tomorrow. But it seemed like the kicking motion was done. He was standing there. And they're obviously having a lengthy conversation. You mean the no yards one is, and from what we saw here, is clearly what it is. It's that one and how this gets applied on this play. And I'm trying to identify some numbers here and who sent out who. Like, I mean, sometimes you get a situation like this where both offenses are on the field.
Right.
And they're like, we're ready to roll because we think it's our ball, right? So again,
there was at least 2 times in your game earlier today where I wasn't sure who was on the field, because I would see one of your guys on offense playing defense as well, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. There's another look at the punt. Should be Pioneer ball here, we think, as they fell back on top, we think.
I also wonder if that block is part of it too. I just saw that, the little kind of push from behind. He's out of bounds. The ball's out of bounds. They're going to talk to the captains and hopefully give us a call here and get this one going here.
On a provincial championship, I think there would be that extra emphasis put on just getting the call right. I would imagine as a coach, that's probably what you'd want. Although as a fan in the stands, you probably want to get out of the cold a little bit quicker too.
Yeah, you want to get it right, and one of those challenges is always, and these crews are doing a great job from what I've saw in this game, and even as a coach's perspective, which is always a little bit more critical of the officials. And early on in the game, I was like, I don't know if I would have called that. I was like a little hesitant, and he's like, hey, we're watching it. I'm like, thank you, keep watching it. But you know what, the crew in our game, hats off to them, did a great job, and then the crew here doing this one. First of all, just being out here in the cold is great, but these crews doing a good job. Get it right.
We have illegal contact on the kicker. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Boom, done.
Dang.
There it is.
Bang, right there. Just right in, right out. We thought we were getting at least 4 penalties. Here's one.
Here's one.
And
well, again,
third
that
down.
one
now they might
is
be
applied.
able to go for it for the Bronx, though.
They could. They still have that decision to make. And, are they going to gain what they need to gain? And we saw the snap was on the ground. Again, there's some risk in the punt a little bit more. But, field goal. We got to feel. I love this. I love a coach believing in his kicker. He's going to drop one of these, and I'm sure it's going to be a record if he hits one of these field goals from 45. Wind is from left to right at the back of the kicker, so he's got a little bit of help.
From 45,
Tipped.
Bandera, it was tipped and still caught in the air by the Pioneers by kind of one of the up return men, and a physical tackle is going to draw a flag as well. I would have loved to see just if that had the leg or was close. He was close from 42 earlier with the wind in his face.
We'll see who gets a hand in on this. Right there. 13 got his left hand on it, slowed that thing. 10 did a great job reacting to that.
After
It's
the
like,
kick, unnecessary roughness, 30. Green, it's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down, Peace River.
Penalty goes to Bandera, the running back, receiver,
yeah,
linebacker,
horse
kicker.
collar. You can't get him on the nameplate or where the nameplate typically is. You can't get him above there. That was one of the calls I thought should have been maybe called in our game, but thought he brought him down from that spot. But good catch on that. Not always easy to see it all with everything going on, but good job on that, catching it. Pioneers need to get something going here on offense.
Yeah, they need something sooner than later. Still lots of time. Just under 17 minutes total in the game. Here's a run for one of those
It's a
big
big
men
man.
again.
Here we go.
Big man rumble. If you missed it in the first half, Rob, that's Tarek Lauren. He's got a couple touches in this game, and that man can rumble.
I'll have to watch the stat sheet. Yeah, he's hard to bank down. No, he did not want to tackle him. No, Bandera did not want to make a tackle on that one, and he just, that's a big man. I mean, we got trucked once in our game, too, by a big guy. Poor kids. There we go.
Out to the right, down into the flats. Good first down pickup and some more yards here for the Pioneers. That's Alexander Kenny. First down.
Well, Bandera there on the tackle again, getting out. Again, gets the jersey. It's down low that time, kind of pulled to the side. So what they do is they try to get that, when you pull them down from the back and you kind of buckle their knees, they're trying to stay away from that. Causes lots of injuries, and that's that horse collar call. But great job getting a secured job there and limiting the gain.
Another pass out to the right side. This one falls incomplete. Do want to take a moment to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who is a funding provider to the ASAA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. From the 37, second and 10. Clock ticks under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Boy, it looked like the Pioneers might have had a guy offside. No flag, and the Bronx will take it anyways. That one hits the ground. Pass intended for Evan Bozarth.
I like the decision. He's got soft coverage, runs a little two-step slant, gets it out to him. Again, you try to want to lead him to the inside a little bit more. Again, still a catchable ball, but what a great job of that was a Hayden Rain, I think, number 3, coming down on that from the corner spot. He's got that soft coverage, but his eyes go to the backfield on the slant. He comes down hard. Again, any chance of a second catch or just bobbling that and catching it was taken away because of that aggressive play coming down, making contact there on as the ball arrived.
Pioneers ran out of the huddle. Pass over the middle is caught. A contested catch with Jeffrey in coverage. Rapolkin brings it in. A huge conversion on 3rd and long.
Well, a couple times over the middle, you can see number 30 outside. Again, that middle of the field is wide open. Again, this is great coverage, and this is actually a great catch. Like, the DB is right there, unable to kind of get around the body of him, and he uses his hands. Nice catch in the cold. Got to give him credit for making that catch.
Pioneers just outside the 20. Big drive, handoff. Shannon getting some yards, turning those legs, refusing to go down, but not really moving forward too far. Pickup of maybe 5.
Yeah, that guy's in the middle of the pile fighting to hold on to that ball. He's like, we cannot have another turnover, and he did a good job of securing it. Everybody is in there ripping at the ball. You can see there he comes into contact, tuck it away, keep it secured. Lots of hands, everyone pulling it. There you go. See the swipe at the ball? They're just trying to get that ball back, but no can do there. Great job, 8-yard carry on first down. Again, this is where the Pioneers need to just stay with the fundamentals, stay with what's been working, secure that exchange, secure that ball. They're in great spot here inside the red zone. Good down and distance, good opportunity, but again, you gotta still play the down and distance, right? And again, that's another thing we talk about coaching these young guys. You want to understand down and distance. It's 2nd and 2. Priority is number 1 is getting a first down. Anything after that is gravy. Let's get a reset of downs. We're in this. We're probably in 3-down territory at this point, right? Needing a touchdown here. So let's got bunched to the left. I love it.
Forward progress made it a 2nd and 2. Bit of a mishandle there. Don't think this was designed to Nusek, but he picks up the first down and goes out inside the 5. Rob, I think they were looking for Shannon there, but there was a bit of trouble at the mesh point.
Yeah, a little bit bobbled there. It's off to the left, kind of on the shoulder pad. But what a great job. And this is what you teach guys. He said, if the exchange goes bad for a quarterback, just follow your back in the same direction because the blocking is set up to go to the left. They had bunch to the left, which is basically a triangle of 3 guys, 1 on the line, 2 off the line. They're trying to get leverage on that. Blocking was really good. And again, that allowed them to have a little bit of time to get to the edge, and good job of just stretching it out. We had a pancake block on the corner, and he just got to the edge. So here they are inside the 5, trying to get some points on the board.
Trying to break the goose egg. Handoff. Up the right side, Bronx are there, and they're at least going to make the Pioneers wait another down.
Yeah, I don't mind the call. Again, they've been running the ball well. Again, you can see there's not much coverage. It's cover 0 in your secondary, so you know they've had some success throwing the ball into man-to-man coverage. You got the box packed, and I think we're going to see here it again. So Ponoka's packing the box in. We'll see if they keep everybody in the box. I'd like to go to one of these one-on-one matchups out on the edge.
Got Shannon in the backfield. They are going to go to the air. Pass! What a play! There is a flag. That was Cardinal Beaver Bones with a 40-inch vertical.
Oh.
Let's see, though, what the flag is.
You know, he got Rebalkin got really lucky because long after the ref was kind of going by, I don't know if it was PI or what the call's going to be. It could have been on the defense, but after the play, he actually kind of gave him a shot, but the ref had kind of ran by him. Probably would have got himself a little bit of a call there. We'll see. We'll see what they talk about here. This is a big call. Could move him back.
Could put him on 1st and goal from the 1.
It's actually a big decision for your coach too, because if it is a penalty on the offense, do you move him back and make it 2nd and long and give him 2 shots at it, or do you say, hey, you know what? It's going to be 3rd down. We're going to decline the penalty and then just make them score from the 5. So we'll see. Looks like they're breaking their huddle. Officials.
Initial indication is, well, penalty on both sides here.
Okay, let's see that. They're going to get the explanation here.
So I did see a pass interference as one of the motions, it looked like, from the defense, and then there was another point in the Pioneer direction. So obviously another one of those where there's 2 flags, maybe a bit of a complicated scenario. Got to talk it through, figure out what the right place to put the ball is.
If I got my yards right, they've gone half the distance to the goal. Because it was originally on the 5. Yeah. They're placing it to 2.5.
2 infractions on the play. We have pass interference. We have objectionable conduct. We have the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So they got an objectionable conduct on the Pioneers after the pass interference.
Yeah, maybe they did catch him on the little late push there, and it was PI again. That's where, as a young athlete, you got to learn to just hold the emotions. You got the flag. He didn't see the flag. He didn't see the PI flag, but he got the flag, and then he ended up.
Quarterback sneak, Nusek into the end zone. The
Touchdown.
Pioneers.
Touchdown, yeah. We got
the goose egg.
We got the call down the short side of the field, looking around the corner there. Finally getting it in. I guess the penalty doesn't matter. They got half the distance. 2.5 yards is all they needed, and they got just 2.5 yards.
Maybe also notable, though, Nusek doesn't look too good running off the field right now. And coach is going to say, nah, get back out there. And all of a sudden, he looks fine.
He's looking better. Yeah, I'll tell you this: being up and being down have a big impact on your emotions when the weather's like this. But I tell you, on a cold day, if you are down, it does not feel good. Injuries hurt more. The weather's colder. If you're up, you're feeling a little bit better. So he's ready to go. He wants to be in this one for the long hauler.
Trying to make it a 7-point game. They'll fake the pitch, rolling out to the left. Nusek sees a lane. It's going to be tight. No sign yet. He is short. He got to maybe the 1-inch mark, and now Nusek is down.
Well, and this is a great tackle, like right at the goal line. If he just dives, he's in. But again, he hits the ball, and the ref is about 8 yards away from him, looking right down that line. He hits the ground. That ball did not break the plane. So tough shot, tough time there. You know, again, missed exchange in the backfield. It seemed like they didn't get what they wanted, but he had a wide open space to the left. But boy, did that space close in a hurry, and the backer's coming out, making a great tackle.
So that is Nusek down. We have seen him hobbling a little bit in this game. He's been able to shake it off so far, and this one he's yet to get up as he's in some discomfort on the field. So with what we've seen from Nusek, you know, very, very mobile young quarterback he is a big piece of this offense. He has been just scrambling like crazy.
We have an injury timeout.
And, you know, their coach, Mark Owens, described them as tough as they come. And obviously on this one, he's taken a shot that he is feeling quite a bit. So we'll hope that Nusek is okay. But
well, I'll tell you, I know this. That ground is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's not easy to take shots on a regular turf field. That ground is just harder, a little bit more snow and ice packed in there. And he kind of came down where it's like flat back on the ground. You know, could be a little bit of a, is he winded? Is he not? But again, a tough guy like that, I imagine we're going to see him back in here in not too long. He doesn't want to get out of this game. This is well within reach, but the big tackle keeps this actually as a 2-score game. It's huge. You kick the single, you're waiting for your 8 points, and next time you score a touchdown. This time they go for 2. Now going for 2, obviously, I think I would have made the same decision. They were inches
probably
away.
Going to need it at some point.
Well, and the reality is you're in a situation where you get that 2-point conversion, an 8-point touchdown, like a conversion, another 2-point conversion could win you the game.
Yeah.
Because they've only got 15. So again, not going to have to see that decision because they're going to need 2 scores to get back into this one. But what a great drive, you know. Got some things going. They were fundamental. And the biggest thing, ball security. They kept the ball. They held onto the ball, and they were trying to rip at it the whole drive. They got themselves in the end zone. So that's going to give life back into them. And, you know, the other thing I'm seeing is Ponoka, number 30, Noah Bandera, phenomenal athlete. He's been playing on the field a lot tonight. Both sides of the ball, making plays all over. Is that going to play into the last quarter? Are these guys going to fatigue? You know, we get back at it. I'll tell you a little bit of a story about fatigue in my season this year and how that really impacted something that we were doing. Short kick, ball's on the ground.
It is recovered by the Pioneers. And by the way, Nusek exiting the field was getting a lot of help at one point. And he had waved off the trainers by the end of it and once again looks fine. He is tough as nails. He'll have to sit out a couple more plays here. But a big onside kick for the Pioneers.
Hopefully these coaches saw a little bit of our game and stole some of that. We were short, kick short all the time. But you know what? Great execution. And while I was watching you and Corey call the first half of this game, I'm looking at their defense or their kick return lineup. They got 3 guys up there. I'm like, this is juicy for a short kick. And there it is. We saw it. I love it. I love the call. I love the time and execution.
Wait until the time was right. So new quarterback in the
Downhill,
game. The first one's going to be a
downhill.
downhill run. That is the big man again. Everyone's favorite plays in this game. At least if you're cheering for the Pioneers, that's Tarek Lauren again. First down.
Tight end around, guard around. Love it, love it, love it. We actually had that in the playbook. Didn't get a chance to run it today. But we've seen it a few times on different teams, and Hannah actually runs it real well as well. So good first down, good first play of this drive.
This is Noah Ruther into the game at quarterback. Likely to see a heavy dose of running right now from Shannon. Churning the legs and picks up close to 7.
Just moving the pile, and again, you can tell the energy shifted a little bit. Look at that block out in front, number 77. Just good block, get some space, and just finish your runs going forward. Finish your runs going forward. That's going to be the quarter as we take a few seconds to switch sides.
Well, they did
I think
Whistle the end.
I think it hit 0. I mean, I saw the flag come late. I think it hit 0 before maybe the end of that play. Or they're just saying it's cold, it's late. Let's get this to the fourth quarter.
Let's go to the fourth quarter. 15-6 is the lead for the Bronx. 9-a-side provincial championship on the line here at Lincoln Hansen Field.
Yeah, check the rhythm, feel the vibe, beats dropping hard, making heads collide, bass thumping loud, shaking up the street. Every step I take, moving to the beat, lightning fast, I'm breaking it down, feeling the pulse in every sound, never miss a step, always on the move. The beat's my partner, we groove as 1, 2. I close my eyes and let the music flow in this crazy world. It's the only thing I know.
We are back at Lincoln Hansen Field. We are in the fourth quarter. You mentioned that you had a story about how attrition sets in a couple plays ago. I got one from last year as well. You were calling the game with me out in Red Deer at the Great Tree Field. Remember, in that game, it was Ernest Manning and Raymond. Raymond had 4 or 5 players on offense. They kept giving the ball to, a lot warmer on that day as well.
Yeah, it was
not warm. And they kept giving the ball to those 4 or 5 players. They started getting cramps. That's what allowed Ernest Manning back into the game. They made a huge comeback in that one. And in this one, we got players playing both ways on both sides.
Yeah, and we'll see who's ready for a fourth quarter here. And the clock just ran down to 0 before they got it back to 12. So offense is ready, defense is ready, clock is close. We're gonna roll it at 12. Here we go.
Big drive, Pioneers after the onside kick, looking to make it a 1-score game. But right now, Chase Altizer doesn't want to let that happen.
It is tough going across the field. It's tough going lateral. He does actually a great job. You can see he gets the exchange here. He puts his foot in the ground, goes upfield. But again, you can see cautious footing, too many defenders in that area. I'd like to see him try that same motion, but pull it and see if he can get to the edge and come back with a dig or an under route from the backside of that. Let's see if they can execute on third down.
Big play. They need 4 yards. Another handoff to the big man. This time, they'll stop it.
Well, and a huge defensive stop there. Again, third down, going back to what's worked, but this time he was there. We talk about two-way players. Again, Noah Bandera on the spot, closing in the edge. Again, don't give up the edge on the defense, and they did a great job there. And, of course, Noah stays on the field to get this done here with their offense. If they can put a drive, chew up some time here, this could be the drive that seals this for Ponoka.
That's Talon Graham as well in on that tackle, so they'll now give it to Bandera, and he's going nowhere. So there's a lot of time in this game left, Rob, and especially with the conditions. Keep it close if you're the Pioneers here.
Well, and you got to lean on those guys, and you know, Bandera is doing a great job on both sides of the ball, only in grade 11, so they're going to have him back. He's playing both ways. He's grinding this one out, you know, just wanting to win it for the guys. You look down that roster, it's a pretty heavy grade 10 and 11 group. They only got 2 grade 12 on there, so they're going to have a solid shot next year to kind of get back here.
Another handoff. There's a ton of room. Big gain. Altizer on first down.
We got a flag, too, so this may add to it. We'll see. Oh, and there's another flag.
Another one way after the play. It's a gain of 20, and if these penalties, I mean, they could offset, but they could add up for one team as well.
So they run the fake sweep there, which gets the defense going to the left of the screen and then coming right down the pipe. Yeah, we'll see what this flag was here. I didn't see anybody in green doing anything.
There's 2 infractions on the play. We have unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle. We have objectionable conduct number 7. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
There we go.
So yeah,
great job of getting it clear for us, right? Here it is. Let's go. Let's move on. So again, not what Peace River wanted. Again, they had a momentum. They had the drive going. Big stop by Ponoka. Now it's just Ponoka wants to chew that clock up, run that clock. Let's try to get out of this one. 10:26 left for Ponoka on offense.
You know, we're talking about how the Pioneers are staying in it right now, but a 9-point game and a 2-point conversion would take it to 3 touchdowns, 3 scores rather. That the Pioneers would need to score in this weather. Nothing's coming easy. Frank, they're going to empty out the backfield. He's going to the air, looking left. Frank got hit as he threw. Ball up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. And I think, considering the coverage, the Broncs will take it.
Oh, I would definitely take that triple coverage and a little bit of pushing and grabbing on both ends there. But again, just kind of throwing it up, and that's when you're like, oh, he's outside the receiver. Again, trying to adjust, but Pioneers are not able to get to it either. Here on 2nd down, and they've gone away from their run game and trying to attack through the air a little bit. We'll see what they do here. 2 receivers to the left.
2nd and 10. Frank scanning the field across his body. It's picked. It's picked. And it's going to go.
They're trying to catch him. Are they going to get him? He's close. He's getting there. Weave in. Touchdown. No.
Big play for the Pioneers. That is Tate Cousins.
Linebacker going the distance, and what a great job of reading. Again, you tell your quarterback to be careful, throw back. He rolls this way, throws back across the field, and again, what a great job of reading the eyes. You can see him in the middle. He saw him turn. He could not get it there in time, and then off to the races he goes. All over that, secured it. Great job securing that and trying to get run down, But we talk about what could have been a 3-score game. It is now a tight one here, going down to the wire.
It is that kind of weather game where you think any play could be the play that changes it, whether it's a fumble, an interception. In this case, it's a pick 6 by a linebacker. It's funny, I was setting up my touchdown call there, and they almost came back and got him.
They were close. Very, very close.
So they will go for 2 to try to make the difference. Just a rouge. Nusek back into the game at quarterback. He's running, sheds off 1 tackle, and he's stopped. It looks like it was Altizer in there again as this 4th quarter is going on. He is popping off. 3-point game. Those 2-point converts right now are the difference.
Yeah, you know, if they make both of those, they're actually in the lead after that. But again, there's the pick. I love it, man. The big linebacker, and then head back. He's running. How close are they? Looking back, little glimpse, little bit of weave, and into the end zone he goes. What a play in a provincial final game. The team needed something, and the defense responded, and here we go. So we've seen, you know, the Pioneers have come out. Some great calls. They had the short kick. They got position. Couldn't capitalize, but they did end up capitalizing on that turnover there, getting to the end zone. So we'll see here. Again, you can see Ponoka lining up in their kick return. They got 4 up front, 3 in the middle, 2 deep. So a little bit more guys up front looking for that. But again, that ball is so bouncy. And honestly, like yesterday at practice when we were getting our kicker to do some work, we were trying to kick it all different ways. It's just spinning on the ground. It's doing all sorts of things. But you can see a couple guys with hands up in that front row. But right now, what do? You play for field position. You want to get the ball back. Lots of time, of course. And obviously the defense stepped up and did their job there. Can the defense do it one more time to give the Pioneers a chance? Or will the Ponoka Broncs have a chance to skipping that ball?
That was a big Bronco bounce. It does go out of bounds, so it's going to come out to the 40 here, I believe. But yeah, we are in a field goal game now. Talk about those big bounces. There's another one. It's kind of like kicking in the football lines on a hockey rink.
It really skips. It kind of skips, and that took a lot. I mean, on a regular field, that probably checks up, and it's either returnable or recoverable by the kicking team. But that icy, that little snow on there, just skipping that ball
kick
around.
off out of bounds. It'll be 1st down from the 40.
You know, I wonder too, kind of talking about our lead-ins to tomorrow's games. You would think that a lot of those teams might be watching this game and telling their punter, hey, you know, keep it away from the returner, but if you can get that thing on the ground.
Well, I wasn't giving away too many things before the broadcast, but I was texting a couple of the dads and coaches that I know on some of the teams coming down here tomorrow. I was giving a little 411 on the conditions, and there is a huge play in the backfield.
No room for Cardinal Beaver Bones. Momentum is swinging in the Pioneers' favor.
And what a play. Tate Cousins coming through, beats the double team right in the backfield, meets him right there. And again, when you come lateral through the backfield, you really can't do much other than use your speed to get to the edge. And he did a great job of staying outside as he came through the double team with some power there. 2nd and 15.
Ball's on the ground, picked up by Frank. Pass rush is there, somehow complete. Won't be enough for a first down as Jeffrey's taken down. Boy, what couple plays there by Cousins, though. The pick 6, the tackle for loss.
Yeah, ball hits the ground, kind of runs into it, he still throws it. Again, very lucky the completion. Good job of going up, getting it with his hands, pulling it down, and then fighting for the extra yards. Those extra couple yards may be close. So looks like they're in a punt formation here, but this is interesting. They're pretty spread out in this punt formation. Based on that, I'm thinking maybe some field position.
You do have a guy on side, Truce Cardinal Beaverbones. He was on side when they had to punt those couple times earlier. See if they use it here. Kick is up high, so number 4 in green can recover, but it's out of bounds. They kind of kick it towards that onside player in the direction of him. It was out at the 46. We do have a shaken up player here for the Bronx. It was Jeffrey, but he's gonna be okay. So ball bounced out of the 46. This is interesting now, Rob. It was 15-6 just a few plays ago. Pick 6, a stop. Now the Pioneers have the ball back, down by just 3.
Yeah, lots of time on the clock. No rush for them. Obviously, we're in the 4th quarter, so everything's important, but no, they don't need to be urgent. They don't need to take risks. Again, let's see some fundamental football here, see if they can get something going here on first down.
New sec, they're going to go to the ground. It's a give to Shannon. Shannon across the 50, still turning his legs. Is that Wes Cates down there? Pickup of, boy, I thought it might have been a little more. Looked like he fell forward, but they're going to mark him back at the 48.
Well, Hayden Rain, and we've talked about him a few times here in the second half. Hayden Rain coming in, making some tackles.
On the play, they only had 8 players, only 2nd down.
So Hayden Rain came flying in from the corner spot, made a huge hit on the running back, wasn't able to get him down, but he is hobbling off the field, and he's one of their starting corners, and a physical corner that we've seen today, coming up, sticking his nose in there, making some tackles, but not able to make the tackle there, and now he's got himself hurt. So 2nd and 3 here.
Quarterback sneak, this has worked well for him so far. Nusek, tons of space, nearly broke it free, but it's a big gain regardless on 2nd and short. And there's another Bronc down here. That sideline right now only has 5, 6 players standing on it.
So we talk about the physical nature of the game, and when guys are playing both ways, it just takes its toll, a little more injuries adding up, and so Connor, what I wanted to talk to you about, we talked about, hey, the attrition that takes over two-way players. So we've actually played Hannah the last game of the season for us. So we were undefeated, they were undefeated, and we went into that game with a game plan that wasn't, I mean, on us. We ended up taking a couple of our stars. We played them both ways, offense and defense. We weren't able to capitalize to give them a rest. And honestly, by the end of the third quarter, they were cramping up. Because some of the games this year haven't been close, so they played both ways, but maybe for a half. And they were cramping up, and it was a tight game. Of course, Hannah always plays us tough, but we were back and forth. We got a couple opportunities, but then the mental fatigue set in with some of those players. We weren't able to execute as well as we wanted to and take advantage of the opportunities that we had. And they literally could not get on the field in the fourth quarter, and then Hannah was just able to pull away. And so going into this game, we had a slightly different game plan. It didn't help that one of our stars was sick last night for a good portion of the night, and we got him back on the field, and he had a nice game. But we had a different game plan going in. It says we can't exhaust those guys. If we can stick around, execute, we need those guys in the third and fourth quarter. And we were the stronger team in the second half, and we were able to run through that second half with those guys playing. We didn't lose guys. I mean, it helped that we got up a little bit, and the energy was high. But again, this is attrition. This is football. These guys started back in August playing football and training, day in and day out, working hard in the gym, on the field. And it is a physical game, and when you're playing both ways, you're getting twice as many snaps. So we'll see here. A big opportunity for Peace River with the ball, but of course the Ponoka Bronx defense have stepped up to the challenge numerous times tonight. Can they do it one more time? See if they can get themselves a provincial championship, the first ever at 9 aside.
Chase McKelvey was the injured player. The Bronx have 4 players, 5 now standing on the sideline. Shannon, run to the right, makes a man miss and falls into first down territory.
So we're seeing a triple option formation. Again, you see two guys off each head, a fullback in the backfield, and again, they go different directions. This is actually an offense I've learned a little bit more about with my tour through the United States a little bit over the last summer with some of our football players. There's a couple schools I've watched that run this triple option really, really effectively, and clearly Peace River likes what they see out of it. They've come back to it a few times here in this one.
7 minutes to go. Lots of time. Run down the left side. Not going to go for much there for Alexander Kenny.
You see this cross action in the backfield so much. Again, your backs are going to the right. Again, you got that slot coming back the other direction, and we were pulling number 77 out there, get a big pancake block on the edge. What a great job. Why don't we go with number 77? I love that. You see that guy late in the game. Tariq Lawrence got it coming out hard again. You see a few more guys going down each play. It's a physical battle out here, but again, I think right now momentum's on the side of Peace River.
That's Dominic Desjardins. He's been big for them today. At DN, made a couple big tackles. I believe he had a fumble recovery earlier as well. 6:41 to go, and every time I look over at that Broncos sideline, it is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
This is a tough grind. Peace River on the move in this run game, effective 2nd and 8. Trying to get some points to get up in this one late in the finals.
Gonna go to the air. Over the middle, it's batted down.
And an absolutely critical play to get this batted down. Let me tell you, the wide receiver wide open on a corner route out to what will be the left of our screen. He gets free in behind coverage, but guess who? Guess who? Number 30, Noah Bandera, coming in, making a huge play for his defense. Can they get it done on 3rd down? Obviously, field goal not in the mix right now here for Peace River.
Fans getting fired up. 3rd and 8 from the 28. 6 minutes to go. Big play in this game. Nusek gonna run it himself. No room. I don't think he's there.
It's gonna be close. Got hands pointing in both directions.
Yeah, we got a tough angle from here where the ball is spotted right now. They might be calling for the chains here. Ref kind of eyeing it up. It'll be a 1st down for the Broncos. The Bronx, rather.
Yeah, he didn't. It was close. It was close, just slightly short again. Finished the drive going forward. So again, not all is lost. Not all is lost for Peace River, but the Ponoka are now in control. Will they stick with the run game? Last series, they had a little bit of a success running the ball, but they went away from it, went to the air. They threw the pick 6. Again, can they get the ball? Can they grind this one out? Now's where it's like, hey, if we can get a run game going. Same thought I had as we entered the 4th quarter of our game. Let's just grind this thing out. And off to the edge they go.
Run down the right side. Altizer. Not a ton of room there. You know, I think if this game went 20 more minutes, it would be fair to say that the Pioneers probably win. And right now the Bronx are just trying to get through this next 5.5 minutes.
I do think running the ball is what they need to do, but again, they've got a couple guys go down. How can they execute? Do they have something? Do they have a misdirection run? Do they have something that can break one here? They're going trips to the left here.
Frank, pressured. Pocket is collapsing, and the Pioneers are right there. Big sack on 2nd down is going to bring up 3rd and really long. And I think the punt team's going to have to come out here for the Bronx.
Well, and I think it was a called draw play, but he couldn't find it in time. And again, too much energy right now for Peace River. They can feel it. They're so close. Again, looking to punt this one away or.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you think about running it back, taking a safety here.
We'll see what they do. Again, their defense is going to be up for the task. I think for me, I'm still punting this one away. It skips to the punter.
Ooh, they will
Off it goes. They have someone on side.
A long one.
So a little bit of no yards.
Looks like a no yards unless that was the onside player. So in the end, the Pioneers, Davis just had to fall on it, make sure that Bronx couldn't get to it.
Noah Bandera just getting that into the air was great. And they had number 4, Truce Cardinal Beaver Bones was the onside guy coming down, and he was a little more speed on him there.
With no yards, it's a 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So in the end, that ball was kicked off from the 14.
They got it back almost in the exact spot after those 5 yards from where that first down was. Not the turnover on downs, but where the first down was. So short field here. Do they go to the run game, which was successful? They are spreading things out. 2 receivers to either side.
19 yards is the difference after that punt. Nusek looking to the right. Over the middle has a man. Balkan into the end zone. Touchdown.
To their
Pioneers.
game time playmaker. He was playing DB on defense. One guy playing both ways, listed as a receiver. But again, you put your good receiver out there. I loved how he's caught the ball all day today. And again, across the middle, you can see just leading them. Cover 0, you're seeing, with a flat defender. And there he goes off to the races. And so what they've been waiting for all day is to get a lead, and they found someone to make the play. And again, the connection between those two has been evident today in this one, finding his way into the end zone.
Going for the single. This is a big one because remember, we know that the Bronx have a kicker in Bandera with a leg. Big extra point. And we got whistles before the snap.
Real big extra points. So you're trying to kick a convert, get up 4, takes away the field goal opportunity to win this. And we know who's got a big kicker, who's attempted some long ones or feeling confident they could do that. So that shortens your field by about 30 yards, 40 yards. If you got a kicker that can hit one of those, wouldn't that be something else if we saw a game-winning opportunity from like 42 yards or something? And again, of course, they're going to be facing the wind. A little bit of wind out there, not quite as stiff as it was earlier, but definitely from left to right from our vantage point here. So Ponoka will be working into the wind with 4:20 left, trying to get that lead back that they captured early in the half, or the first half, and got the opportunity. So big point here. We've seen some blocks, seen all sorts of things happen on special teams, but this one, I would say, is pretty big.
Tate Cousins out for the extra point. It is up and no good.
He missed it. Not much of a rush. Not much of a rush at all on that. So the lead stays at 3. Here's the touchdown. You can see from the bottom, right side of our screen, just coming on a simple slant post there, getting a step on him, and away he goes. Interestingly enough, that was Hayden Rain in coverage. He has been stellar all night long, and we saw him. He was a little bit hurt, but they put him back out there. They needed him to make that coverage because they got a little bit of a receiver there in number 13. They wanted to make the coverage, and he only had a step on him, but that was enough with the perfectly placed ball. So here we go. We're in for a great finish with 4:20 left. Ponoka ready to receive this kick. Can they make a play on special teams and break something open here?
$18 straight points for the Pioneers. Cousins to kick it away. Every play a big one from here on out. Squibbed and received by the Bronx. All ties are on the return, trying to bounce it to the outside across the 40 where he's taken down. And that is where the Bronx offense will start on a pretty much must-have-it drive.
So Tate Cousins, a linebacker, coming down, kicks the ball. Next guy coming, look at this agility, woo, over the top. You know, hey, that's important things. If he hits him, if he lands on him, could get a flag. But again, got over that one. Good for a kicker, good for a linebacker doing his job. So here it is, the task, Broncos, or the Bronx. The Bronx, so 4:07 and counting with the ball down 3.
From the 42. It's a trick play. Bandera's gonna throw. Bronx are gonna want a flag, but they're not gonna get it. Talked in your game a little bit about maybe this is the weekend where you start to reach into your bag of tricks. They tried it there with the halfback pass, but Bandera couldn't quite connect.
Good discipline. You see the free safety over on that, just turns and starts to run, kind of shield him off. That's perfect coverage. I know the fans were yelling wanting some, but that's exactly what you want. Hey, the ball's overthrown, just cut him off to make sure he doesn't make a play on the ball. So they're taking a shot deep. They had the trick play. They tried it. It wasn't. Now it's 2nd and 10. They're going to need something else to get those 10 yards.
That was Tobin Thomas in coverage. 3:39 to go. Frank in at quarterback. Low snap handled. Frank over the middle. His arm was hit as he threw. And guess who? Cousins once again.
This defense is doing something special here in this second half. They're finding ways to make plays. There he goes through. Nice chop through the middle. Gets the hand up just in time. And he had his receiver coming across the middle there. So, wow, big third down play, especially for a defense that if they can get their offense on the field, they got that triple option. They are going for it. They're coming up.
Pioneers had a returner back. Davis dropped back. Now he's got to run up to play linebacker. They're going to go over the middle. It is batted down. Maybe even better than an interception at that point. Cody Robinson shuts the door on that 3rd and 10 attempt.
Yeah, this pressure again, still coming in. Again, that ball's hard to throw. Couldn't get on it. What he did, again, flutters up in the air. But you know what? You're right. Definitely bat it down, get it to the ground. Again, 30 coming in. 30's going to find a way and make a play if you hold on to that. So great job batting it down. Now it's about, can they work the clock? This is it. These kids have been thinking about this opportunity. Can they make a play in 3 minutes to either finish this off, or can the Bronx find a way to make a play to turn the tides late in this one?
Shannon following the lead blocker, bouncing it now to the outside, finds some room down the sideline, trucks a man, and then heads out of bounds after a big gain for Shannon.
That type of energy comes when you have a lead with 3 minutes left in the provincial championship game. What a great job. Ball security all the way through there. Gets the sideline tight rock, and he is going to finish this run right here. Boom. There he goes. What a great finish. You love guys. That's the guys that you want until you build your football team around guys like that. They just got to work this clock. Use the clock, which they're doing. A little patient on the snap, using as much time as they can, and it's up in the air.
Ball is on the ground, picked up by Nusek, trying to make something out of nothing, and he's just going to angle himself out of bounds. Sometimes just better to scrap the play.
Yeah, again, ball security. There it is. It was almost a direct snap to the fullback, but there he goes.
A touchdown could put the game away, but we are far ways away from this one being over. Feels like a higher event game, considering that it's 18-15 right now, doesn't it?
It sure does. Well, and again, the Ponoka had the total control after the first half. They had momentum, and then, you know what? The scrappy Peace River Pioneers just kind of clawed their way back in this one. They got the first score, and you always, hey, just the next play, the next play, the next play. And that's what they did. Even after facing adversity in this quarter, they grinded this one out. Now they're in control of their destiny on offense here. I imagine they're going to run the ball, get this clock going, because it is on the hold because he ran out of bounds.
2nd and 16. Shannon to the ground, not a lot there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and long. Decision time.
How long are they? It's like 11 yards. Running the ball.
12, yeah, so it's 2nd and 12. It would be a 33-yard field goal from here for Cousins. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out. Pioneers do have a timeout left. I mean, no sense punting from here.
And that clock's on the wind, so it's getting close. 10 seconds to get this play off, so we're going to have to hurry to the line. But again, just you can take a shot here, because if the clock doesn't stop, it's going to stop either way if it's incomplete.
Nusek to the air, misses his man. He was covered by Jeffrey. The Bronx stay alive.
You know what? Same play as they got the touchdown on, a little bit over the middle. Well-delivered ball, enough coverage. That coverage, again, tight, just enough, a little contact. Not too much to draw a flag, but great coverage there by number 9, Caden Jeffrey. Tight on him, just enough contact, enough disturbance on that to give the Ponoka Bronx maybe their last opportunity to move the field. They've been willing to throw the ball deep. Pressure has got in the face of the quarterback by the Pioneers. The defense can win this for them. Get that ball back. We'll see if the Bronx go.
Handoff. Run up the middle. Big gainer on 1st down for Altizer. I will mention as well, Rob, you can hear the wind pick up in our ambient microphone outside. You look at the smoke across, it's starting to blow in the face of the Bronx here. We know their kicker can make it from about 35, but that might be a little closer right now the way the wind is blowing. 20-yard run.
Well, yeah, it's in his face, and it's a little bit gusty, too. You see that smoke go in different directions. There's a huge defensive play.
Met in the backfield once again. It's Tate Cousins.
Tate Cousins, man, making plays when it counts. Here it is. Can they finish this one off? The clock is going to be on the wind, so they're the Bronx are going to want to operate quickly and not waste any time.
Frank to the air, steps into it down the right side. He's got a man. Early contact, draws a flag. He underthrew him a little bit, but it worked out in the end. It'll be a first down for the Bronx.
Well, and that is step and throw, and that's what you want. Again, put his foot in the ground. He's got his receiver well behind coverage, and again, getting that ball there.
We have pass interference, number 15 White. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, good call. Again, he's got to learn to turn his head. And again, that's a receiver, and so if he has a little bit of a beat on that ball, it's a good chance he can get his hands on that. But again, a little bit of a panic mode. Again, I don't mind the penalty. Again, better than a catch and a run. So again, but they are creeping into field goal range, and wouldn't be surprised. Here we go, some backfield motion.
They're in Pioneer territory. Jet sweep pass across the pots, trying to get to the edge. There's a flag over the middle on that gain of 3.
Well, and the tackle was inbounds, which again becomes a critical piece here. It either winds the clock or it doesn't. 1:42 left. You're running out of time. That was an inbound. So again, you want to kind of, this is a great tackle because it kept him inbounds.
Got a hold on the offense here, Rob. This one.
Do you move him back? Do you decline it? It'd be 2nd and 8, and it's inbounds, so the clock winds. At this point in time, they're calling the next play. That is going to be a game-breaking play. So they are going to move him back. Belief in that defense that they can do
7. It's a 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
I think just, you set him back that extra 12 yards. You need a big play at some point anyways. Just give him a little bit longer to go, right?
And this just allows your defense to keep them in front. Keep them in front. You're telling your DBs, keep them in front of you. They got the safeties out. They got a little bit of, they got cover one with some soft coverage on some other guys. They're going to roll them out.
Frank.
Lots of room.
Lots of room in front of Frank. Out of bounds. And he is really close to the yardsticks here. Where do they mark him out? At the 45. It'll be a 2nd and about 2. So it works out for the Bronx.
And again, you got man coverage and you lose contain on the edge, and good job of getting the gain. Again, steps out just before though. Big play here though on 2nd and 1.
Frank, maybe they take the deep shot now. Flushed out of the pocket. He's got room. Out of bounds again at the 40. That'll stop the clock.
You know, we've seen him throughout the course of this game make really intelligent decisions, and that's another one, getting out of bounds, continue to get out of bounds. And so again, stopping that clock. Again, now I would almost say we're in field goal attempt range. We'll see how they play this one with minute 27. Really good operation using the clock to their advantage right now.
They're going to go to the air again. Frank has ran it 2 straight plays. And this time he's taken down. Cousins was in there once again. Teamed up with Peter Clausen to bring Frank down. 2nd and 14.
Colby Davis looking like the third guy as he's coming in there. And I like just call him out again. He's there, but what he does, look at this. I love this right here. He goes in hand, gives him a hand, gets him off the turf. That ground is cold right now, and hats off to him. That's a good, classy play. You know, you're battling all night in the cold against these guys. Go help them up. Give him another shot here. Here they go. The Bronx on the brink.
They got a minute to go as the ball is snapped. Frank rolling out to the right, option play. Ball's on the ground. And they're calling it an incomplete pass. That
is a very interesting call, to say the least.
I think all ties are hot back on it anyways.
I thought it'd end up in the hands. You can see here. This is definitely backwards.
Actually,
it's almost right. It is right down the line. The player was backwards, right down the line, but I think it's out. It is out of bounds, so it rolls out of bounds either way. Incomplete pass does stop the clock, but that could have gone either way.
This is the game.
That could have gone either way.
3rd and 14. They need to get it just inside the 30. Frank to the air, over the middle. Has a man. Bandera survived the hit. First down, Bronx. Staying alive, and they might be in field goal range.
What a great catch by Bandera. He's got to survive the contact here. Again, just over the yards. There it is, boom, big contact, but what a great job. Once again, making plays, trying to find a way to win this championship.
Snaps at 45, and it's a loss.
So now
You know,
we got
I
all
don't even
this
have
field.
to look at the number. It's Cousins again.
Well, again, mano y mano, the two maybe best players on O&D right now in this last quarter, making plays back and forth. They're going punch for punch, but a loss here, moving them further out of field goal range. Clock is running. Can they get this close enough to attempt a field goal to see if they can send it to overtime?
Second down, like you said, don't necessarily need a first down. Frank is going to run, has some room. He is exhausted, hit hard just before the 20, but maybe that's the yards they needed. That was Cody Robinson on the tackle.
So 22.8 seconds left. 3rd down and 4. Kicker can make from here. Do they have the confidence? Can they execute? Because even if you get the first down, now you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 plays to win this championship for a touchdown. Are they coming out to line up for a field goal? It looks like he's got his tee out down at the 27-yard line to send this baby to overtime. How much pressure do you bring here? Huh? How much pressure? How much energy is going to be in that defensive line?
We got a timeout on the field as well. So remember, Bandera, he's shown us the leg so far, but he is yet to hit. I believe he's 0 for 4 on the game. This one would be from 27, and the Pioneers will try to ice him. This, Rob, is what you go to bed dreaming about on either side of the ball right now.
Well, and you got to have, and this is where coaches are always tested. Is how much time did you spend on your field goal block? Like in high school, you're not trying to block a lot of field goals. But did you spend enough time? Do you have something drawn up? Do you know what your go-to field goal block is? I mean, my heart breaks when the Chiefs and the Broncos were playing 2 weeks ago, and I'm a Broncos fan, and they lost on a blocked field goal. They did everything they needed to win the game. They missed a field goal. But that's the difference in a game is special teams. And this could be a huge special teams play one way or the other to draw this one out. If the Bronx can make this field goal from what looks like to be about 27 yards, doable, makeable. Can he get it through the upright? Cold night, wind in his face. He's going to need all of it to get through, and obviously the direction's important, but do you have your block drawn up? I think you send pressure up the middle, probably in the left A-gap of the offense, to see if they can get some guys in there. And then again, you want to make sure you have a linebacker or two that is just playing safe on this one, because you want to play it safe. You don't want to get them leaking something out. I would not be surprised.
This is the game. Bandera, kick is up, it's got the leg, it is good! Bandera from 27, and we could be 6 seconds away from overtime.
What a kick, true and straight. You mean the last ones, he tried to overkick maybe, but what a kick. Clutch time money. Through it goes.
Not by much.
You know, that's the leg they've been looking at all night long, and again, didn't look quite so clean before, but when everything was on the line, who do you put it on the foot of? He drives that baby through. 18-18.
There are some adults pulling off some dance moves beneath us that I didn't think their bodies would be able to, let alone in minus 15 temperatures. Bronx fans are fired up.
First down from the 35.
So it'll be a first down from the 35, as you heard, for the Pioneers. Boy, they could maybe run a play, get into Rouge or Hail Mary territory, but the way this ball's been bouncing around.
I think you go in your triple option. You try to misdirect and see if you can spring your athlete down the sideline. So we'll see. But of course, the Bronx got some soft coverage, free safety in the top. 5 in the box, 4 in coverage.
In the I form. They are going to go to the air here. Long pass down the left side, intercepted by Potts, trying to return it, and he is pushed out of bounds. Boy, oh boy, we got overtime.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Throwing the ball wide side of the field, and it's not quite as wide as a regular field. That's a long throw for anybody. He did not get enough on that. And again, took a risk, didn't cost him, could have almost cost him. This is where I say, hey, get back to the middle of the field, find your blockers, right? See if you get some help. I mean, he could have finished it on that play. Can you imagine the ending of that? Either throw a pick six, last play of the game, 0's on the clock, but we're headed to overtime.
Yeah,
a few more minutes here.
Fans, just stay cold a little longer. Cameraman Luke, Dave, Odell, just stick with us a little longer. We're sorry, but there's a great football game unfolding right in front of our eyes right now. Rob, great call by you to, say to Corey, hey, you know, you got a long drive home tonight.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I should take over for the second half. Corey's like, okay, you know, got a heck of a game unfolding in front of you.
You mean safety's so important, and again with snow probably falling across the province tonight, it's and our prayers are with everybody who's traveling home. I got a load of bus, excited bunch of kids on the bus heading home. Our athletic director driving them home in the dark and in the snow. They got out of here pretty quickly after the game, but that drive's always better when you come home with the win. So two teams here battling it out, back and forth, trying to be that next team. Can they be the second championship team of the weekend? The first ever 9-a-side. Exciting game, close game, good battle here.
So both teams had gone to their sideline. We got free football unfolding right in front of us.
They get to talk about it for more. Hopefully they love listening to us.
we didn't expect overtime. This is for free. This is happening right in front of us.
We got to get that rule book out. Okay, what are the rules of overtime in high school? It's been a while since I've been in an overtime game. Of course, being 6-a-side, it's like, you got 30 seconds left. Yeah, we got a chance to score. Let's go. But this one going to overtime. Can't ask for more at provincial finals. Two teams slugging it out here in the cold. Grand Prairie getting a chance to get around here. I'm actually here a fair bit in this area. My in-laws are from Valley View, so we've been over the years. I've been up there a lot with my wife and family and enjoying the area. But it's cold here, just like everywhere else right now.
Ponoka won the coin toss. They've decided to be offense first. It's going to be first down Ponoka on the 35.
It is that CFL shootout style here that we're going to get. No, take the ball the other way. You're so far from us.
Yeah.
We'll be going left to right with the wind
I think
at
we'll
their
get the
backs.
next series here, hopefully. So, yeah, interesting. You get offense first. Opportunities from the 35 to score. And it'll be interesting because both teams, the Pioneers at times have struggled to score in the red zone. They've got down there a few times. So, again, short field, can they get things going? And how do you choose to attack them? Do you go with the triple option and see if you can grind out a win and get into the end zone? Or do you go back to the air? They've got, obviously, a stud receiver out there in number 13. Kylan Rabalkin has made some critical plays. But actually, speaking of that, Rabalkin, he needs to step it up and make a play for him. He had that opportunity on the slant, would have caught it. If he catches it, gets it a first down, probably gets a touchdown and puts it as a 2-score. So this doesn't go to overtime, but he wasn't able to make a play. But I'm sure, as an offensive coordinator, I would find one of your first 3 plays is going to number 13 on offense. But they will start on defense, and he will be on defense, trying to stop the aerial attack by the Bronx. But the Bronx, let's see what they can do here. They've had some success running their quarterback, spreading things out and getting some space. Let's see what they do here. First series of overtime.
We've had dueling comebacks. Pioneers at one point were down 16. That ball's on the ground. Frank evades the pressure somehow. And if he could even get back to the line of scrimmage here, that would be huge. We got a flag on the tackle as well. And this flag is huge.
Wow, man, how he makes anything out of this one. You got 3 guys barreling down, just couldn't get the tackle there, and away he goes. I think he got some positive yards. So now you got to force him. I think it's going back. A little holding, maybe.
Yeah, they're taking
We
this
have
one back.
holding number 4. It's a 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Interesting, though, again, because you're setting them up in, I believe, it would have been about a 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. Instead, you're going to 1st and 20.
Well, and now they've got the wind at their back. So field goals likely in play for the Bronx in overtime. Maybe not so much for the Pioneers. We haven't seen them kick as well, but you never know. We're going to see.
Frank, low snap, ball's on the ground. He is met in the backfield and hasn't going down yet and throws it in the direction of possibly an ineligible receiver. Bandera's around there. That'll be an incomplete pass in 2nd and 20.
Couldn't get him to the ground, got it out.
Yeah, Bandera was around and it looked like it might have been contacted.
It was illegal touch. I saw that in the NFL game last night, which was also in the snow, mind you, watching that one. But legal touch by an ineligible guy. Not sure if he was ineligible, but it looks like he was.
2nd and 20. Bronx need a big play. Over the middle, too low. And from the 45, they are out of field goal range, we think. Although
they look like they're bringing some big guys in to try to kick this one.
this would be from...
Well, do you kick a single maybe even?
Boy, yeah, especially...
Like this is going to be a bomb. I mean, this is going to be a bomb. The ball is on the 45.
I mean,
so.
it wouldn't be crazy. They've attempted one from 45 already today.
Hey, you know, I mean.
Or 42, I believe it was. That's a long field goal in this weather at any
You
level.
miss this field goal, though. You miss a field goal. He can run it back and score a touchdown.
I don't see a T in the hands of Bandera, so I believe they're going to go for this. They are.
Yeah, Q's in the game.
Well, we'll see what they do here. Look to throw it deep, maybe pick up a penalty. Frank, big play, throwing it high over the middle, and that was nearly intercepted. Regardless, the Pioneers get a stop on the first possession of overtime. Any score, and they win a 9-a-side provincial championship, the first ever.
So just to get some clarity on this, any points win this because they don't get 3 possessions. It is a 1 possession. Everyone gets 1 possession, and they will continue into the second and third if it is still tied. So interesting. You go on offense first, and again, usually in overtime, as a coach, you choose to play defense first. Why? For this exact reason. You know how you can operate. If they score a touchdown, you know you're playing 3-down football to score. Right now, let's get some points, and the Pioneers can do it. Or the Bronx defense up to the task. Big stop here. They need a big stop here. But now they're switching sides. They're going the same direction by the sounds of it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
That's a long field if you got overtime and you got to go the length from the 35.
Pioneers take the 35. Not the however long the other way would be.
Spreading things out. 13 wide to the right.
2 backs. They're going to go to the air.
They go to 13.
Over the middle. It's incomplete. So I think that at least to win here, the Pioneers would need a rouge, and they'll need a positive play here on second down to be in that territory.
They go for it all on one. The coverage is good. Coverage is really good, and you got to give Caden Jeffrey kudos, man. Their star receiver, right step for step, not letting him adjust or anything, but trying to hit the big play early. It's interesting that the strategy that coaches implement. Do you run the ball? Do you try to get some positive plays, or do you go for that shot? So we'll see again. One-on-one matchup. Now the safety's hedging to this side.
2nd and 10. It's a run. Shannon, not a lot. Gain of 5. And we got a 3rd and about 5 from the 30.
Have you practiced your punt single play as a team? You punt this baby through? That's a long ways to go.
Might have to angle it out as well, and it looks like the offense is staying on the field. If they convert, it's going to be a real tough time for the Bronx to stay alive in this one. If they don't, we're back to 50-50. Newsek under center. It'll be a pitch to the outside. Shannon cuts it back to the middle. Nothing there. Bronx, I believe, have picked up the stop.
Huge stop for the Bronx defense. Again, trying to pin the edge. They do pin the edge, but they don't have enough space. This pursuit by the defense is just too strong. And again, you can see not quite enough. So again, didn't get the points on offense, but their defense steps up. So here it is. Bronx with their second opportunity starting from the 35, definitely thinking, hey, get some positive plays, 3, 4, 5 yards. Again, last time they started the drive with a loss. With the penalty, really put a challenge to their offense, but now they got to think positive plays, get what you can. I like the idea. Let's spread things out. Let's get that quarterback on the roll because he can take off and run and damage a defense.
Rob, double free football. Here we go. Bronx ball. Frank. He's going to be met in the backfield again. No! He got away. Still has his eyes downfield. He's going to take it and he's going to run for a gain. Something fell out. It might have been a sleeve or something. And wow, Frank once again somehow stands in there, takes contact, turns a huge negative into a big positive. It will be second down, and we'll call it 4, maybe 5.
Well, a missed tackle on the defense. They could have gone for a big loss in the loss of the down, but again, they couldn't do it. So again, they're going to looking at 2nd and 4. Again, looking at the first down. They need to get that first down, get in field goal range at the very minimum.
Frank, ball's on the ground, jumps, throws, and it's incomplete.
Man, I dealt with a lot of both football stress, emotional stress in our last game, but ball's on the ground. He's throwing this up, guys in his face. Almost ends there with a pick, this opportunity. But again, this is where as a coach you're like, oh no, let's get a snap.
Bandera has a tee in his hands. They are going to go. It would be a 3rd and 5 from the 30 instead. It looks like
Trying
we
to
are
get the
getting
field goal.
a 37-yard field goal from Bandera. He is what took us to overtime. We know he's got the leg. The wind is at his back.
Bad snap. And it's on the ground, so no points. No points for the field goal team. Boy, what a game. Waiting for that point to be scored in overtime. The offenses are struggling. The defenses are stepping up big. Back in the hands of the Pioneers. I'm just curious. I mean, you throw to 13, or do you run the triple option, get some positive plays? Just get a little bit of positive plays, get closer and closer.
They'll give it to Shannon. Trying to take it down the right side, and it looked like originally was Altizer slowed him down, and then teammates will come in to help.
We've got
him
about
to
4
the
or 5
ground.
yards, but if you watch the replay here, they did a good job of sealing this edge. And again, he ends up cutting it up the middle. I think if he gets to the edge, although you know who's standing out on the edge is Noah Bandera, going to shut that one down. So again, cuts upfield, but positive plays. I like the call. I like the call. They've been running the ball well. They can run the ball. Let's see if they can keep that going and get down there and get some points.
2nd and 4. They'll hand it off to Shannon again. He's got room. He's got a first down driving forward. He looks like he's inside the 20. The Pioneers are on the doorstep.
This is all about ball security and mono up front. You see that offensive line push? I mean, he doesn't get touched till he's 10 yards into the defense here. So what an outstanding push by the Hoggies up front. The Pioneers tasting it. So close. Can they finish this one off?
Ball's at the 17. 17 yards away from a 9-a-side championship. Shannon wants it now down the middle. Once again, he'll pick up some good first down yardage.
Think he's a little short, so he's 2nd and a yard. I mean, again, do you do anything but run the rock here? But I do like the fact that they can go to that triple option. Do they go to the triple option? They're going downhill, and this is where snow and icy football, downhill, downhill, downhill. If you're, 2 hands on the ball all the time, and again, they're 2nd and 1 here, so they got 2 cracks at the first down. They're going to get half the distance. They could finish this off.
They'll give it to Shannon. Met in the backfield. Got to hold on to that football. He will, but it looks like
I don't think he got the first down.
He will be short.
Lost about half a yard.
So now, believe this will be a field goal on a 3rd and 2. Even if they miss, it's just got to get out the back of the end zone here, and the Pioneers will take that Rouge and win.
So here's a question. Do you even kick it at the goalposts? You hit the goalpost, no points.
They're going to bring out the
punting.
punt team
Punter
here.
is in. So do you have your kick out? Do you have your kick out opportunity?
Just need a good snap. Tobin Thomas at punter to win the game on a Rouge. Kick is up. It is through. It's a Rouge. The Pioneers win the most Canadian game you will ever see. They are the first ever 9-a-side provincial champions.
Unbelievable. In the snow, in the cold, the wind. Probably feeling like minus 25 out there right now. And in true Canadian fashion, like you called it, punting through the back of the end zone, putting this on ice. Literally on ice. And they're going home after coming from behind early in this one to win with a Rouge.
Have you ever seen a punt from the 8-yard line before?
Man,
the opposing 8. That is just
usually
an amazing
there's
way to end the
more
game.
things that go wrong, but again, they got in there, they did what they had to do. The punter got it out, no chance of a return, no chance of a kick out, which I've experienced in a provincial final over a decade ago. But again, what an outstanding job and what a gritty effort. As the snow begins to fall a little bit heavier here, maybe gonna be snowing for the night, but what a gritty effort by Peace River just to stick in this one, battle back after being down. Obviously, the delay in the game can play havoc on your mind and your team on both sides of the ball for different reasons. But again, just grinding it out. They stuck with it. They didn't give up. It would have been easy on a cold night to just kind of mail it in at the end because they just were struggling to move the ball, but they broke through. They stuck it in, and what a heartbreak. You know, we got a shot there of the Ponoka Bronx, again, working so hard, executed so well, but you got to play the 4 quarters, and again, does attrition play a part in that? What I mean, when you can run the ball in the 4th quarter and put it on ice, I mean, there's something special about that as a team. So tough on the Bronx, but boy, hats off for the effort and the challenge and the Pioneers climbing that mountain to the top.
You can see the heartbreak on some of the Bronx faces here. You see Talon Graham taking a knee, and you know, I understand. I used to be a competitor myself. You used to be a competitor as well. You know, it took me a few years after some of my big provincial championship losses. I was a baseball player. I would pitch well, team would lose, and you know, no matter how gritty we lost, no matter what, I would have my head down. As an adult, I feel like you start to learn those lessons, and you start to look back on these times and those losses, and you start to realize that as a young man, there is not a lot to hang your head about right now if you're the Broncos, and especially in a game where they had their teammate and Hudson Schumach-Bruns go down and taken out on an ambulance. They fought. They had like 3 guys on their sideline, and they took it to double overtime.
Yeah, it's been a journey for both.
So we will throw it to the in-house announcer. The Peace River Pioneers win it 19-18.
Of the gold and silver medals, along with the championship and finalist plaques. The medals will be given to the teams to distribute in the locker rooms, which makes sense tonight. The official parties representing the plaques and banners for today's game will be Mr. George Grant, ASAA Football Commissioner. Mr. Dave Sang Thit, Director of Operations for the ASAA. Mr. Tyler Brochu, Northwest Zone Secretary for the ASAA. And at this time, we'd ask the captains for today's provincial finalist, the Ponoka Bronx, to please come forward to receive the finalist plaque. Thanks, Noel. Thanks for your guidance and help. I was kind of... With the captains of the provincial champions, the Peace River Pioneers, please come forward to accept the championship plaque and banner emblematic of provincial supremacy at the 9A side level in the province of Alberta for 2024.
You can hear the snow crunching. You can hear the Pioneers fans from afar. Connor Toffin on the play-by-play call tonight. Rob Harrod filling in for Corey Caldwell in the second half after that big delay in the first. Rob, we had such a Canadian finish. That punt from the 8-yard line through the end zone won it with Tobin Thomas. The foot of Tobin Thomas, a guy who was playing cornerback in this game, winning it for the Pioneers. Just put some final thoughts on how crazy this game was.
Well, the emotional highs and lows for both of these teams. In any championship game, in the end, there's going to be only one winner. But, you know, the Bronx came, they fought, they've battled all year long. And you got to really put your hat off to them and how they battled through this one in the cold and the conditions. And then, you know, for Peace River, again, down, not really finding a way to get it done in the first half, but man, did they respond, and key plays were made throughout the second half. And so, the jubilation that they feel will be felt, for the rest of their lives. And, for both of these teams, you think about the 12s, the grade 12s that are finishing off their year. We talked about the Bronx. They only got a couple grade 12s, and so, I almost anticipate them being close to it next year. And, of course, the Pioneers, what a way to go out for their graduating players with a provincial championship.
The first ever 9-a-side provincial championship has been decided. There's your winner. Enjoy it, young fellas. The Pioneers beat the Bronx 19-18. What a day from Hanson Lincoln Field. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yo, check the rhythm, feel the vibe, beats dropping hard, making heads collide, bass thumping loud, shaking up the street. Every step I take, moving to the beat, lightning fast, I'm breaking it down, feeling the pulse in every sound, never miss a step, always on the move. The beat's my partner, we groove as 1, 2. I close my eyes and let the music flow.